Hello and welcome to the Arbor Day special episode of 99 Questions. I am your host, Bob Buel. Normally, this is an oddly numbered interview show where we ask all sorts of interesting people interesting questions, and today I will not be doing that. Arbor Day started in 1872 by J. Sterling Morton. And by 1920, 45 states were celebrating this day focused on greenery. Spreading it, preserving it, keeping it safe. And in 1970, it was officially recognized as a national holiday. And in June of 2020, on episode 6 of this show, in response to question 16, asking favorite holiday, Adil Rafai from Hey Riddle Riddle and Hello from the Magic Tavern said the following.
Has anyone ever said Arbor Day? I want to meet someone who's just like nuts about Arbor. Like I want like dresses like a tree and like next Arbor Day, I think I'm going to have an Arbor Day party and just go fucking nuts.
In very apropos fashion, this planted a seed. And today, in 2026, Arbor Day is being celebrated right here. It's right around the end of April, maybe around the 20th. Who can say exactly what day? So in honor of Arbor Day, I'm going to eat this gummy and decide the winner of a tournament. That tournament is a 128 episode bracket of every previous episode of 99 Questions. Along the way, I'm going to have some behind-the-scenes fun facts about the recording of those episodes, what went on to get it to actually happen, answer some listener questions, and decide, on this very day, the greenest day of all, what is the best episode of the show. Now, here's some quick housekeeping right up front. Yes, I understand that this is incredibly self-indulgent, but I think it's going to be a really fun time. The show's been going on for 6 years, and quite frankly, I think a retrospective is deserved. And to make sure that this was a perfectly symmetrical bracket at 128, I had to exclude episodes where listeners donated to the Extra Life charity back in 2021 to be on the show. I love them for donating. I love those episodes, but in my mind, at least, I just put them in a different category. And I've said this from day one, and this is kind of part of the ethos of this show. I can't just have my friends on, because when I don't have to chase the guests, like, what's the challenge, right? The spark is gone. I can just do this forever and coast. And I don't like that. I like to chase the bigger guests. So all love and respect to them, but we are sticking to mainline canonical episodes here. All that said, let's get on with the Arbor Day special. Cheers, everybody. Delicious. I'm also going to be enjoying a lovely beverage. Cheers. Oh. All right. Also, in the description of this show, there's going to be the link to this tournament, so anyone can kind of play along at home here, courtesy of bracketfights.com. Not sponsored, but they have a good tournament bracketing website. So, as you might be able to see here, this is an insane tournament. 128, so 64 on the left, 64 on the right, and we are literally just going to chop it down as we go based on the episode that I like the most. I'm going to try to be as neutral as possible here, right? I was here for all of these, but I'm going to try to vote with my heart, not my mind, or maybe my mind, not my heart. I don't know. It's probably going to vary as we go on throughout this episode here, because there's been a lot of these, turns out. All right. Matchup number 1. Oh, and just to be clear, this was fully randomized before the recording of this. I put all the guests in here, all the episodes in, randomized it several times, and then locked it in. So this is 100% random. You can even click a random seed button if you really wanted to, shuffle it around here. But I love this. All right. Matchup number 1. Shelby Wolstein versus Mason Madden. Everyone could have predicted this was matchup number 1. Shelby Wolstein from the Keeping Records podcast. Absolutely amazing. She was so funny. She's so naturally funny. I don't want to go off for like 10 minutes on every single one of these matchups, but it is going to be a lot of gushing about how funny and good these people are. Because I feel like I've built out a roster of just awesome guests to have on this show. And she was one that was just like, there's no way she's going to say yes. And she did, and absolutely crushed it. It was just so funny. Her whole bit about the boogity hat is so funny. Boogity summer. There's a clip of it on the Instagram. It's hilarious.
The concept of my summer is it's going to be a boogity summer.
Well, of course.
And I'm going to start ranking things on the level of boogities. But 3 boogities is the most boogities.
I mean, of course.
And so right now it is boogity, which to me is to say like, yes.
Wait, hold on. Let me just check my phone. Yeah, it's trending. Holy cow.
Yeah, it should be.
That's wild.
Awesome.
Boogity summer. That's crazy.
Boogity summer. It's boogity summer.
You thought you liked Brat summer? No.
Have fun with boogity summer. You're going to freak.
Mason Madden is a legitimate like pro wrestling star. He was in WWE. Now he's in AEW. And for like a brief, I think 2-month span or probably 90 days or whatever, he was unemployed because he was let go by WWE before he got picked up by AEW. I snuck in and just emailed him and he said yes. So I feel really lucky that I was able to get him on, and how generous he was with his time here. Absolutely loved both of these. And quite frankly, I love talking to anyone in the wrestling business because it always devolves into just talking shop and making little insider jokes and like talking about him DDTing a horse. That's another clip that's on the Instagram. I absolutely, I absolutely love both of these. In terms of the matchup, I think I'm going, holy cow, I'm going Shelby. Sorry, Mason, you can beat me up. But there we go. By the way, I have some notes that I just wrote down here about, some of these episodes, and I printed out a couple of things that we'll get to later. But I don't know these matchups, right? I did not run through this as a dry run. I didn't practice this. Like I want my reactions to this to be genuine here. So, matchup number 2, Matt Helgeson versus, I believe it's called A Very Special Announcement, and then a 99 Questions Classic. Okay, so the Very Special Announcement episode was when I was getting married. And could I have backfilled and, backlogged an episode and put it in there? Yeah, maybe. But I didn't. So I just took the week off, essentially, and put up, I believe it was a rerun of the Bewley the Bewley Award episode, which is like our best of. But I was able to say right at the beginning that I'm getting married and it's going to be the greatest day. And it turns out it was the greatest day. Fun fact about that episode was, we'll get into it later. I did an episode where I only prompted the questions from celebrities on the website Cameo. And they kind of instated some sort of reward system onto the Cameo website later in its lifespan. So I logged into Cameo years after I did that episode, and it was like, oh, you have like $75 worth of credits because you just spent so much or whatever. So I was like, okay, sure. So before this episode, I said, ooh, who would be the funniest celebrity that I could get to announce that I was getting married and like do a fake intro for the show? Not a fake intro, but you know what I mean. And I settled on Bam Margera because he was right around that price. So I got Bam Margera and I sent him the thing and I said like, hey, just do my standard intro to the podcast and this is what it is and I'm off getting married and blah, blah, blah. And long story short, he sends back like a 13-second clip that I can't use as the intro because it is nowhere near as long as I need it to. It's just him saying like, welcome to 99 Questions. I'm Bam Margera. Blah, 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 blah.
What up, y'all? It's Bam Margera, and I'm not trying to say nothing or nothing. I'm just simply trying to say, welcome to another edition of 99 Questions, and congratulations to Bob Buel for getting married. I'm crashing the wedding. Rock and roll.
And I was like, this is such a waste of money. Thank goodness I didn't have to spend any money on it. But I didn't know what to do, so I did my own intro for it, and then I just said, and for no reason in particular, he's Bam Margera. And I just included the clip on there just for a laugh. So obviously that holds a special place in my heart, but I think the winner of this, not to bury the lead here, is Matt Helgeson. Matt Helgeson was a writer for Game Informer magazine. I believe he's in marketing or something now. He also did the podcast Crossfade on MinMax, which was like a dueling music review show, which I absolutely love, and I still wish would come back. I'm taking a sip of my beverage here. Delicious. I get asked this sometimes by friends, like, who was I most nervous about to do the show? The episode with Matt Helgeson is the answer. I was nervous out of my gourd. That's not an expression. To talk to Matt Helgeson. And the answer why is he was my favorite writer as a kid. So as a kid, I had Game Informer magazine, and like, you know, you read all these reviews, but they're all signed by whoever wrote them, whether it was a Reiner or a Miller or whoever, Dan Reichert or Joe Juba or whatever. And Helgeson's were always the ones that I kind of clicked with. I love the way he wrote. He would constantly reference like 90s hip hop. He just had a really strange tone to him that I absolutely adored. And I found that our taste was very similar. Like when he loved something, I would inevitably like rent it or try it or play it. And I loved it too. So instantly he became my favorite. And for years and years and years, he left the industry. So when I started the podcast, I was like, there's no chance I'll ever get to talk to him. He's just a dude living his life. And then he came back for Crossfade as part of MinMax, and I reached out to him, and he couldn't have been more kind. He couldn't have been more cool. But under the surface, I was so nervous. I was shaking in my boots because I was talking to my childhood hero or whatever. So in terms of a rerun best of episode, where I was getting married, or Matt Helgeson, you best believe we're going Matt Helgeson, baby. My lovely wife, I love her, but Matt Helgeson's the answer here. All right, Gabby Ortiz, another pro wrestler, versus the Bewlywed Game All-Star. Man, all right, we gotta make this not a 4-hour episode. So let's try our best here. Between Gabby Ortiz and the Bewlywed Game All-Stars, Gabby Ortiz, hilarious, super great wrestler. She actually had a reality show about her. It's on Apple Plus, Apple TV Plus, whatever it's called. If you look up Monster Factory, that's the name of the wrestling school, and it's a 1-season show, and it just covers, you know, some indie wrestlers a couple of years ago, and she was a part of that, and I didn't even know before I reached out, and yeah, she's so good on it. She has such a kind heart. She has that East Coast attitude, that tri-state area attitude. I think this is going to come up a lot. Delicious. Anyone who is from New Jersey or Philly or New York, I always have a good energy with, always click really well with, and Gabby is right up in there. Bewlywed Game All-Stars, though, it's gonna win here. I'm sorry, but I don't want to talk about it too much because it's going to advance to the next round. I gotta talk about something in these second round matchups. But Bewlywed Game All Stars was such a joy to do, and I got 8 actual like big name people to be on there, and being able to schedule around all of them and get it to so something happened, and oh my god, I don't even want to get into it right now. We'll get into it during the next round, but Bewlywed Game All Stars absolutely wins here, no doubt. All right, next matchup. Ryan Haley versus Imran Khan. Oh, what a great couple of dudes. Imran Khan, so much funnier than I gave him credit for. I always took him as kind of the newsman, but having him on, man, he's so sharp. He's so funny. Ryan Haley from Funhouse, formerly from Funhouse. Now he shows up on Astro Goblin from time to time, kind of the spinoff of that. Ryan's episode was super fun to record because he was in his apartment and clearly his roommate was walking around. So like you just hear him in the background. And I think at one point he went outside for, to smoke out on the patio. And like, it was just so him. Like if you're familiar with him and Funhouse and that whole thing, like he kind of had this personality of like a stoner with like insane stories to tell. And, turned out, yeah, that's pretty much what it was. Between a matchup here, God, I'm going Imran. Sorry, I'm going Imran Khan. Next up, what a fun one. Jason Daphnis versus Brian Shea. Brian Shea from Game Informer and Jason Daphnis, co-host of the Crossfade music podcast there. I think also works in marketing with Matt Helgeson. So, man. All right. I can't make every one of these a 10-minute diatribe or the listener. There's no one listening to this at this point. Also, the whatever I ate very early on in the episode is certainly starting to kick in. Jason Daphnis, I always hold a lot of respect for the guests I had right at the beginning. Because right at the beginning, I had nothing, right? Like, I was just emailing people saying, hey, I have an idea for a podcast. Do you want to be on it? Now I think it's a little easier because it becomes this weird self-fulfilling thing where it picks up momentum as I have guests on. So, I have on Ben Hansen and then I email the second guest and say, hey, would you like to come on? I've had guests such as Ben Hansen, and then I've had those two on, and then I email the third guest and say, hey, I've had Haley McLean and Ben Hansen. Would you like to come on? And so on and so forth. So like it's this weird ball of momentum that grows over time. But those first 10 episodes, like I had nothing. People were just going on because it was COVID lockdown and they had nothing else to do. I feel fairly confident in saying. So like all those original guests really did kind of shape the tone of the show and tell me like what this show should be in a weird way. So I always hold Jason Daphnis with a lot of love there. Brian Shea, I think is going to win this. He had an amazing like meeting Taylor Swift story before she really blew up that I still think about to this day. We're going Shea. John Smith versus Jan Ochoa. Next matchup here. Okay. Talk about early episodes. Jan Ochoa was episode 3. Jan, current co-owner of GiantBomb.com, which is crazy to say. And John Smith, formerly of Funhouse. I honestly don't know what he's up to now. So I really wish him the best. In terms of these episodes, man, oh man, I think... All right, so I was doing some research into some of these beforehand. I'm pretty sure Jan's episode was the first time we got rid of question 97. Question 97, which which is the listener question of the week. I think for the first 3 episodes, I can't remember if Jan was the reason I changed it or if Jan was the first time I implemented the listener question, but that was like the breaking point. I remember looking in my notes because originally it was just tell me a lie, and both Hansen and Haley, and I think Jan, all were just like, man, that's not great, right? Because we're just going to tell you like, I haven't been to France. And I was like, yeah, that question kind of sucks. So forced me to pivot, forced me to go in the direction of that. Jan couldn't be a more cool dude. He deserves everything good in life. He's just a kind soul front to back. John Smith is an interesting one. The fun behind the scenes of this was he was in Korea at the time, I believe. So there was like he was there on like a, I don't know, it was still, part of lockdown. So he just wanted to explore the world. And so he went over there and was in his hotel or apartment or whatever he had in lockdown. But it was, I think, 13 hours different time zone wise. So I think it was my like 10 p.m., but it was his like 8 a.m. It was crazy. So I love that he actually did it. And then what's even better is I'm pretty sure he deleted his Twitter, as a lot of people did in the last year or so. But when it was still up, he had on there a Post-it note that his neighbor left on his apartment door saying, like, in the kindest way possible, like, oh, you're causing a little bit of a ruckus. Would you mind please being slightly quieter? And it was because he was like laughing and telling stories from my podcast. So I think for that alone, I'm going to give it to John Smith. But Jan, you're an absolute legend, and I would love to have you back on the show in some way, shape, or form. And I might have something kind of up my sleeve for that. But going John Smith. This is a very interesting one. Bailey Myers versus Carolyn Page. Two incredibly amazing women. Carolyn Page, you probably recognized from Dropout. She's been on a whole bunch of Game Changer episodes and all that. She had a pandemic project, FMK, like F, Marry, Kill, YouTube show that was very funny. That actually led to me getting another guest because they produced the show. That's a story for later in the episode. Bailey Myers, who is currently at Good Time Games, the Becca Scott run kind of YouTube channel, and formerly Giant Bomb when it was owned by its kind of corporate overlords there. Oh yeah, no, we're feeling it here. Man, oh man, both just super chill, like hangout episodes. Bailey Myers, I will always remember her talking about the Hooters Remembers 9/11 shirt. That's an iconic one.
Okay, I'm going to describe this shirt from top to bottom.
Please.
It says the Hooters logo, it says Hooters, and then underneath it says Remember. So Hooters Remembers, and then it says 9/11. And the 11 is, of course, the Twin Towers being used as the number 11. And then underneath that, it says, let freedom wing.
Yeah. We might have a new contender. We might have a new contender for best shirt. And Carolyn Page, I remember, a lot of these were COVID episodes. We've been going for 6 years. This is just what it was. But I remember she had like a martini or something as we were recording. And that just, I don't know, it just fit her vibe so perfectly. I'm going to go Bailey Myers on this one. Really, really love both of these, though. Both these episodes. Oh, boy. All right, next matchup. Heavy hitters are out. It is Brennan Lee Mulligan versus Jesse Vitelli. This is, oh boy, this is a big one. So, Brennan Lee Mulligan from Dimension 20, Dropout, formerly College Humor, all that. And Jesse Vitelli is I believe, freelance games writer. He might be part of a website right now, but I know he used to be for Prima Games, doing like strategy guide stuff. Jesse could not be a more chill, fun guy. I even had him back for the Lost episode. Not Lost as in never published, but Lost as in the TV show Lost. The Lost Roundtable discussion episode. Yeah, love Jesse. Great guy. But unfortunately, I think you've hit a brick wall that is Brendan Lee Mulligan. I won't go too deep into it yet because, spoiler alert, Brendan Lee Mulligan is advancing here. But if I am famous for anything on the internet, if I'm known for anything and commented on in any capacity on the wider internet, it is I was the host of the 4.5-hour episode interviewing Brennan Lee Mulligan. That's what I'm known for. If I went to a Comic-Con stage and said I'm that guy, there would be someone in that room who goes, "Oh, I listen to that." Like, that's just what it is. And it might be, I mean, that's what this is deciding, but it's truly one of my favorite episodes ever. So Brennan is advancing here. Now, we got... I love this next matchup. Before we get into the next matchup, we have some listener questions, comments that I'm just going to be kind of peppering in throughout the episode here. I tried to stay away from any that started with like, "Hey, question for you, Bob." I tried not to listen to them so I could actually, you'd get my genuine reaction listening to it for the first time here. But if they were specific to a guest, I did try to focus it there. So this first one we're going to listen to is from Corey.
Hey, Bob. My name is Corey from Respiratory. I started listening to your podcast last year when I discovered your interview with the premier philosopher of our time, Brennan Lee Mulligan. Now I listen when I have time during my 12-hour night shifts as a respiratory therapist. My question for you, Bob, is if you could only read one novel for the rest of your life, what would it be? Thank you for keeping me up when everyone is breathing independently. Have a good day.
Wow. Corey, thank you for the question. Amazing. Yeah, I knew you mentioned the word Brennan, which is why I dropped it here. But I did not know that there was a question for me involved in there. First off, thanks for listening to the show, checking out the show, listening to it as you presumably save lives. That's wild. What was the question? Jesus. The Arbor Day of it all is starting to kick in. A novel, if I could read a novel for the rest of my life. So I am so bad at keeping up with reading. I have 2 books on my nightstand, both of which were recommended to me from guests on this show that I purchased at their recommendation. I have a bookshelf filled with even more of them. Jonathan Livingston Seagull, I believe, is one of them that I think it was Open Mike Eagle recommended. I bought that, still never bought it. Looking at one of the matchups that we're about to have, Kelsey Lewin, I have her book on Animal Crossing. I started it, never finished it. Butter, which is a like Japanese murder mystery novella type thing from what I've heard. That's the one sitting on my book stand. Still never read that. New York Mystery, I'm probably butchering the name of it. I don't think that's even right. Which was recommended to me by RJ City. I have that one. I have not read it. I'm just thinking in terms of books that I have read and loved. The one I always recommend, I don't know if you'd call it a novel, but Live from New York, which is the oral history of Saturday Night Live, from the perspective of, every producer, director, host, guest, writer that the show has basically ever had. It is utterly fascinating. I that one I started and could not put down because I find that show so utterly fascinating. I love the inner workings of it, and I will never not be fascinated about it, even if I don't watch every single episode. So absolutely love that one, and I'm going to drop that as my recommendation. Thank you, Corey, for listening. Keep saving lives over there, or letting people breathe, or whatever the heck you do. Arbor creates oxygen and lets people breathe. This is what the show's about. Come on. All right, let's get to the next matchup. Kelsey Lewin from Pew Pew Bang and MinMax and Pink Gorilla Games versus Zach Kornfeld from the Try Guys. This is a crazy one. So Kelsey, of course, came back for the Bewleywood Game All-Stars episode representing Team Pew Pew Bang. God, so good, so naturally sharp and funny, and just has so much gravitas about what she's talking about because she's just an absolute expert in the world of video games. So cool. So cool. I think, God, in terms of just the episodes themselves, I think I'm going to have to give this one to Zach. That's one that Brennan is still my longest episode at like 4 hours and 20 something minutes. I can check on that in a minute, but Zach ties it in terms of its length, like down to the second, which I think is crazy, but it only ties it because I put the cut at the very end of it, which was a joke that I will talk about in round 2. So Zach Gorenfeld, you are advancing, sir. Thank you for taking the podcast recording from your parents' home while he was on vacation visiting them, which no one should do, but he did, and I give him all the respect in the world for it. Kelsey, amazing as well. But all right, next matchup, a really classy picture of Jeff Bakalar from Giant Bomb versus Ryan Gall. Wow. Ryan Gall got the honor of being the 100th episode. Actor, you've probably heard him on Comedy Bang Bang. He does improv comedy all over the world, literally. He was on The Last OG, that show with Tracy Morgan that I think is just hilarious and no one ever talks about. Taking a sip of my beverage. Oh yeah. We're in it. Jeff Bakalar. Jeff Bakalar, co-owner of Giant Bomb. The reason I'm so... If people don't know the saga of Giant Bomb, I won't get into the whole thing here, but basically they were owned by like a corporation, then got sold to another corporation, who just shut down the whole operation. And then about a month later, everyone who was working there said, yeah, we pulled our money and now we own it. And they succeeded in taking it independent, which is insane. That never happens. Ryan Gall, man. Ryan Gall's episode, I remember being so funny because he's a literal comedic actor. Like, he is just funny in his bones, and it, felt like such a big name. Absolutely love that one. Will always live in my heart as being the 100th episode, like this big milestone episode. Jeff Bakalar is going to advance here because he's a Jersey boy. We stan a Jersey king or queen around these parts. And truly, Jeff Bakalar's episode, I think, is one of my all-time greats, between his Danny DeVito story. We'll get into it in round 2. This is a tournament, for God's sakes. Very interesting. Our latest episode, Paul Robolino versus Odell Harmon Jr. Real blast from the past there. Odell, I believe, is now working at Sony. And Paul Robolino, dropout producer, showrunner, writer, improv comedian, I believe, or maybe stand-up comedian, some comedian of some sort. The reason I remember Odell's episode is that he was an independent games writer, I believe, and went on to work at Sony. And Sony has a kind of a famously strict policy of not letting their employees onto podcasts unless it's been like, vetted and pre-approved and blah, blah, blah. And so before I could release his episode, he was very, I don't know if he was nervous. I don't want to transcribe any emotion onto him. I was nervous because he kept reaching out being like, hey, just so you know, this episode has to be up before blank date. And I had to assume that was when he was starting for Sony. I don't even think he announced he started working at Sony yet, but like I just kind of put the pieces together and figured it out. And then he announced he was working for Sony. I said, oh, that would make sense why we had the hard deadline there. But great guy, great writer. I hope he's thriving in whatever he's doing, because again, Sony is, the people who work there are much more offline than most. So I have not been able to keep up with them really. Delicious beverage. Delicious. Paul Robolino from Dropout. My latest episode is this, probably recency bias, but Paul's advancing here. Love that episode. This is these matchups are so funny to me. It is Katie Maravich from Dropout versus Alex Goldman from Reply All and now Hyperfixed. God, both so good. Reply All and Hyperfixed are both such good shows. He is an amazing host and actually helped with the production of 99 Questions, because I got to pick his brain for a couple minutes before the show on like how he records stuff. And I mean, he's a tech wizard in so many words. So he is actually helped the show in the long run. Katie Maravich, though, is just a ball of comedy, and I think she's one of the best out there to do it. I don't know why is her P&G smaller than the other ones. I don't know if this is an audio medium, that doesn't matter, but I'm going Katie Maravich, and we will discuss her more in round 2 here. Speaking of audio icons here, Dallas Taylor from 20,000 Hertz versus Elliot Roberts, YouTube essayist. Listen, Elliot will always have a soft spot in my heart because he loves the show Lost, and he came back to talk about the TV show Lost, and the fact that I got to do that just warms the cockles of my heart every single day of the week. Oh man, but in terms of episodes, I think I go Dallas Taylor. He has such a perfect voice for radio, for podcasting. Literally does a show about sound and audio. So having him on just felt like a real rite of passage. So I'm going Dallas Taylor there. Oh. Next matchup, Kyle Hilliard from MinMax and Game Informer versus Isla Hink from Easy Allies. Again, I don't want to go on a 4-hour diatribe. Take a shot every time you hear me say that. Kyle Hilliard, an amazing personality, an amazing writer, from all accounts, a great father. He could not have been more kind on my show. I remember that being a super early morning episode because he's just so busy. And I'm sorry, Kyla. Isla advances. Isla rules. She is truly one of the kindest souls I've spoken to on this show. And yeah, she's came back for 2 other episodes. She literally hosted my episode. No, it's Isla. It's Isla, and we'll get into why more. This is a fun one. So the choices are, the matchup here are, oh no, yeah, we're feeling it, people. The Arbor has kicked in. An Amazon Alexa versus Chandler, the rapper. Don't ask me how I did it. I just did it. It was hard. Who really blew up for that. He's a hip hop artist, and I think he rules. I think his catalog is way more than just his, viral meme of a line. Love Chandler. Really, really funny dude. Was very, I think, recently engaged or recently married as well, if I'm following his Instagram right. But was really a cool one to talk to off the air as well. I don't want to blow up his spot, but he's a very kind man. And then I'm sorry, I hate to do it, especially in the climate that the world is in right now, but I'm gonna give it to the AI, baby. We're gonna go for the Amazon Alexa. I can talk about it more obviously in round 2 here, but that's one that I am surprised wasn't a thing before I did it. Because I did that episode years ago where I fully the entire episode was just me talking to an Alexa, and yeah, the fact that no one else has ever done that for an entire interview podcast, to my knowledge, at least, if it has, I would love to know. But yeah, I love that one. I think it's, I mean, not to pat myself on the back there, but pat. I think that's such a clever and fun episode. I'm going with the Alexa. And I was looking to my Amazon device there to make sure it wasn't speaking throughout. This is a big one. These are two heavy hitters between Nick Weiger from the Doughboys and Grace Helbig from, Daily Grace, It's Grace, YouTube legend. Oh man. Nick Weiger from the Doughboys, I mean, part of the biggest Patreon ever, the most popular Patreon ever, I think Doughboys is. I could be that could be completely wrong. I don't know. I got no clue. Grace Helbig though, does a podcast with her friend Mimi, and I remember one of my friend's husbands being super excited that I got to interview Grace, because he is just such a huge fan of hers. Like, that's what I think of when I think of the Grace episode. Nick Weiger, what a guy, what a chaotic ball of energy that he is. And I from Get Played as well, I believe he's one of the three hosts on that as well. And legend, such a legend. I'm going Grace on this one. Great episodes for both. Oh, next matchup. And I believe, we are into our second of 4 brackets here. This is the start of the next bracket. So our kind of 4 divisions. This is the start of division number 2. You could tell I'm a basketball fan, right? AJ Moser from Game Query, formerly from Epic Games. And I don't know what the heck he's doing now. Something underground. I guarantee that from that guy. And Riley Anspaugh from Review from the JA Patreon, the Jake and Amir kind of spin-off universe, I suppose. Review. If I didn't say that, I might have. And I'm just a little bit feeling the Arbor, very Arbor infused. 2 real ones, 2 absolute real ones here between AJ and Riley. AJ, I believe he was the one who had the quote that said, I now complete the Game Query Exodia. And that is a line I think of far too often, to be quite honest. But anytime I think of Game Query or the Yu-Gi-Oh cards Exodia, the 5 things of them, he mentioned it being like, well, I'm the last of the 5. Like, Exodia Annihilate at this point, because it's Blake, AJ, Haley, Leo, and Jacob Geller as the honorary 5th. And he coined that term, and that phrase lives rent free in my head. So bravo to you, AJ. But I gotta go Riley. Riley's a real one. Buel Award winner. I've met her in real life, which is crazy. But we'll get into that in round 2. Riley advances. She bought me a gift for my wedding, for God's sakes. Riley did. How do I not let her advance? What? What a fun matchup. Lucy Blehar, sorry, it's been a while. From comedian, and I think she's more well known now for being one half of Big Sis, that I don't know, I guess you call them like EDM kind of rap duo. I don't know. I shouldn't be talking about this, what genre of music she's in. But yeah, the band Big Sis, she's the lady in it, doing the British voice the whole time. But I interviewed her completely out of character. So she was just Lucy there. And of course, against Rebecca Valentine from, you name it at this point, every outlet under the sun. I think she's at Hotaku, IGN, unclear. But Rebecca is amazing. Lucy is blowing up. When I see her music, they just put out merch just probably a year ago. Put out merch for Big Sis, which is just a hat that says, "I took the drugs and the drugs are working," which I think is perfect, which is a quote from one of their songs. Might need a refill shortly on that one. And Rebecca Valentine, I think Reb is going to win this. She's also Imran Khan's wife. A little pairing going and advancing here. You love to see it. So yeah, I'm absolutely going Rebecca here. Still going to listen to Big Sis. I think that's done me. What a great matchup. Daniel Rashid versus Michael Swaim. Daniel Rashid, actor, director, producer, soon to be husband of Bewley Award winner Riley Ann Spa, and and I love that picture. Again, audio medium. Maybe this will be on YouTube. I don't know. Or maybe I'll do the video version of it on Spotify. That feels like the best of both worlds. I don't know. If you're watching this, then you already know the answer to that. Michael Swaim from Cracked, which is where I know him from. I know he did Daily Beans, I believe is the name of his offshoot project. And after Cracked went down, I think they brought back Cracked and brought back him. I don't know how well that's doing, if I'm being honest, but both amazing people. Again, we're going way too long here, so I'm going to try to speed it up by making a very difficult choice. We're going Swaim. All right. Patrick McDonald from Artists and Cracked, Jesus Christmas, and Smosh. And then on the other side is Pete Quinnell from Wrestle Talk and No Holds Barred. I think he made a couple of appearances on as well. And now the Pete Repeat YouTube channel. He makes some really good video essays about basically anything but wrestling at this point, which I fully respect him just getting his way out of that environment. He does more Pokemon-based stuff, which is really cool. He's had a couple of videos recently on him joining competitive Pokemon tournaments, but with like unconventional teams, just because he thinks it would be fun, and like documents his ins and outs and shows a couple matches and stuff. It's really fun. He's a great mind and a very kind, peaceful soul that specifically chased a pursuit that he thought, and probably is, way less stressful for him, just for the sake of help, bettering himself. And I give him all the credit in the world for that. Again, call it recency bias, but I think the Patrick McDonald episode that I've done recently is like laughs per second, one of the highest around. He's so funny. He's also a host on Margaritaville Radio. Like, yeah, just a multi-talent, a multi-hyphenate. I gotta go Patrick McDonald here. Sax man. He's the sax man. Oh boy, this is taking a big swig of my drink on this one. Abby Russell formerly from Giant Bomb, versus Chat Roulette 1. Okay. All right. So here's how this is going to happen. I'm going to give Abby her flowers because Chat Roulette's advancing. I love the Abby Russell episode. I think it was really funny. I think she is a really natural talent that I don't know what she's doing now. I think she might work for Jackbox, maybe. I might be off on that. But her stuff with Giant Bomb, man, was so good. I really wish she did more things in the public eye. I say, as I just praised Pete for getting away from the public eye, but like, I think her voice not being in the video game comedy YouTube realm is like a net negative. I say that with all the respect in the world for her. I think she's great. Chat Roulette 1 is unfortunately advancing. So here's the story I'll tell about Chat Roulette 1, because we can get into more of the details in round 2, because that's what's advancing. But it only happened and I don't want to say who just because I want to be nice. I was set to interview a voice actress, a very well-known voice actress who has done a lot of work in video game and anime and all sorts of stuff. And over the week after we kind of locked down a day and a time, she was like, hey, can I see the questions ahead of time? Which is fine. And I offer to everyone if they ask, like, there's no, this is not a surprise. This is not a gotcha interview. Like I say up front, like, I want you to be as comfortable as humanly possible here. So I sent it to her. I said, hey, this is what this is, blah, blah, blah. No worries. She came back like, oh man, are you sure you still want me on? Because I'm not usually like, I don't think I've lived that interesting a life. And I was like, it's not about the interesting of the life. Like, I think you've had an interesting career, and I think that's more than enough to talk about. It's worth it just for that at the very least. And she kept saying things in that vein throughout the week. And then I think the day of or the night before we were supposed to record, she sent me an email just being like, hey, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to back out. Like, I just don't super feel comfortable. And, not with you, but just like, I don't want to be out there like that. And I was like, totally fine. It was also pandemic. Like, people's emotions were out of control then. I give her no hard time whatsoever for backing out there. But the only issue was, I think it was on a Friday or Saturday. My episodes go out on Sunday at 2 a.m. So it has to be up and done Saturday night to go out at 2 a.m. Eastern time. And so her backing out of it so last minute was like, well, I don't have an episode this week. And that's annoying. So I kind of just like sat down annoyed for half an hour, and then I came up with the plan. Well, I'm just going to interview randos. And so I went on chat roulette. I put on a suit jacket. I started up my webcam. I started up my microphone, figured out how to screen record in OBS, which I obviously still know how to do. Thanks, video version. Well, now I have to do a video version. Jesus, I mentioned it twice. And yeah, recorded the entire first chat roulette episode that way. So what a weird way to backfill into one of my favorite kind of episodes every year. Next up, this is a fun one. Ana Diaz, from MinMax from, Polygon was the last thing I know she was working at. I'm not sure if she's still there. And Kat Bailey from Axe of the Blood God. Super great, both of them. Really know their stuff, which was so fun. Like, Kat Bailey being such an RPG expert, I remember being really fun because she just like adores Pokemon. So being able to dive into the deep end of that and diving into like, different JRPGs, super fun. And Ana Diaz, being a Pokemon lore and Pokemon anime expert of every kind, was so much fun. Like, I love I think it was a community question, actually. I'm pretty sure it was a community question that was like best starter Pokemon. And yeah, she went off for like 9 minutes about it because she went through every generation and discussed the pros and cons. Like, yeah, super great. Honestly, I love both these episodes, but it's going to be Anna. Interesting. Interesting. You couldn't find two more disparate personalities. It's Kirk Hamilton versus Jeffrey James 2. So this is... All right, let's give Kirk his flowers because Jeffrey's moving on here. I hate to say. Kirk Hamilton from Strong Songs. So funny. And in an absolute musical expert. Taking a sip of my beverage, letting the Arbor soak in more. Kirk, where was I? Oh, the thing I remember the most from Kirk's episode was that he had a guitar blow into it piano thing, whatever that's called. He had one of them at his home in a closet, and he played it toward the end of that episode. And I still think about how awesome that was. That is such a moment I will always remember thing from the podcast. I don't know why that one really stuck with me, but
and I built a rig for my arm that was this pretty sweet kind of steampunk thing where the melodica, you know the melodica?
Oh yeah, where it's like
the
piano that you blow into.
Yeah, wait, I'll get mine.
Oh yes.
Here, I can play some melodica for this.
Oh, this is amazing.
I have it right here. Here we go. All right. So that's a melodica. They're so cool. It's like the coolest instrument in the world.
It just felt like I was doing exactly what I needed to in the moment. So Jeffrey James 2, we can get into more of the details later. But this is another one I'm very proud of. The whole gimmick of this show is that everyone only comes on once because it's always the same questions, right? It's questions 1 through 99. It's the same for everyone. So I always thought it would be funny to have a guest on a second time and just start from 100 and do a completely unique 99. And I was lucky enough to be able to do that with Jeff. And quite frankly, he better prepare because there's another 99 coming. There's going to be another episode where I start at 199 and go down to 298. It's going to happen. That's a good drink. Jeffrey advances. Jeffrey 2 advances. This is a great one. Elizabeth Valenti, New Jersey icon, Hollywood icon, taking Holly Weird by storm, quite frankly, as a producer and a director and a actress as well. I know she's done some production assistant work on multiple massive projects, and man, she rules. Did I even say her opponent? Oh no, the Arbor of it all. Elizabeth Valenti versus Eric Silver. Eric Silver, podcast producer extraordinaire, and just a ball of sunshine, pure joy personified into a podcast producer. That you have Eric Silver. I was able to see him very briefly. I don't even think I said I was part of the podcast, but I saw him at was that PAX? I believe it was PAX East. Or PAX Unplugged at a Philly. I don't remember now. It was definitely an East Coast PAX event, and I saw him there very briefly, and it was super cool. Episodes. Gosh, who's moving on? Give it to Valenti. Give it to Jersey. Dirty Jersey in the building. We're going Valenti. Next up, former coworkers. A brutal mashup here. The Battle of the Fun Houses. I think that's where both of these stock photos were taken in front of a funhouse green screen that they turned gray. Oh gosh, that's too funny. Audio listeners, man, oh man. Armando Torres versus Elise Willems. All right. This is a great episode, guys. This is fantastic. Armando, things I remember about him. He has a gun. Number 2, he had a great joke about being on a Mediterranean diet, thinking that it meant eating gyros, but it actually means, fish and whatever. Yeah, really, really great guy. Sorry, Elise Willems is advancing here. Elise Willems is a comedy legend, and I'm sorry, but it's true. A comedy legend. I have her signature up on the wall of my basement down here. I was lucky enough to see her at a live show in Brooklyn, I believe, for Answer For It, which is what her and upcoming guest contestant in this tournament, James Willems, co-host. And Yeah, it was absolutely hilarious. And there was a meet and greet beforehand, so I got to see her and say, "Hey, I'm the one on 99 Questions. You might not remember me." And Elise goes, "Bob?" and remembered immediately. And I was like, "Ah, oh, a comedy legend knows who I am." Like, Elise Williams, Armando, you rule. Elise advances 100%. Why is Beth's circle so off here? That's funny. Next matchup, Beth May from Dungeons and Daddies, poet laureate and a host of the one-woman show from the Edinburgh Fringe, Beth Wants the D, that I got to live stream last year, a couple months ago, whatever that was. And one of the best live shows I've ever seen. I really hope, like, I would love to see that on like a Dropout, because they feature like live stand-up shows like that on there. Man, that's actually really good. I'm gonna write that down to message Sam about it. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Beth May versus Charles McGregor. Charles McGregor, a amazing game dev, developed Hyperdot. Hyperdot, yes. And such a great mind. I got to play some, like Jackbox games and stuff with him from time to time. Just a really kind soul who's doing amazing work. He has some game dev blogs on his YouTube channel, all about designing the game, like short, condensed blogs like that, which really touched me into that whole YouTube game dev community that I'm really grateful for. I might have someone kind of part of that circle on the pod in the future, actually. But yeah, out of the 2 episodes, I think I gotta go Beth May. I'm sorry, Charles. Beth's episode is like iconic to me, and Buel Award winner. Sorry, can't argue that. What a great pairing. So this is that's it. Bill Oakley. I couldn't remember his name. The head writer for The Simpsons. Gosh, that's embarrassing. Bill Oakley versus Rachel Kazer. Rachel Kazer, who is a games writer. She also got kind of viral or semi-viral or whatever the heck you want to call it for having a Golden Girls blog that really blew up. Here she is in her best RJ City pose. That's reason enough to watch the video version if you know who RJ City is. That's a perfect joke. Bill Oakley has to advance here. I'm sorry, Rachel. Great episode, but yeah, Bill Oakley for sure is a legend. He's a legend. He was the head writer for The Simpsons for Who Shot Mr. Burns. Like, I would advance any soul on the planet into this tournament if they did that. Like, I'm sorry. Two absolute gems here. Erin Keefe versus Jasmine Malave. Jasmine Malave? Shoot, sorry. I could be totally wrong on that. I apologize. Blame it on the Arbor. Blame it on the Arbor. That's what I personally blame it on. Jasmine is on, oh no, what's the name of it? 20-Sided Tavern. When I saw it, it was off Broadway, but now it's like touring the country, or just finished a tour, I think, recently. And she's on that show where it's a live acted D&D Broadway show. And it's so fun, and they're actively making roles. When I got to see it, it had Abria Iyengar as the guest of the night on there. They've had a lot of people in the D&D realm. I think one of the McElroys was on there, and someone else. Oh, Erica Ishii, obviously. Jack is a Whipper, that Instagram whip guy was on there, who I think is great too. Gosh, Jasmine, I remember because that was the first recording we had in this house. And me and my wife moved not too long ago into our first home ever. And after settling in, I had to record with her, and I think I had to put a lot of filters on there to make sure it didn't come out echoey, because I was in my basement before there was anything in it, so it was just a cavern. So she'll always hold a real soft spot in my heart for that, because I just remember like being in this house for the first time and doing that. Yeah, but Aaron Keefe advances. Aaron Keefe, man, this is just unlistenable, huh? Really, really rough. I'm gonna take another sip of this. Aaron Keefe from she's from something, I swear. She's from Hey Riddle Riddle. She's from Hey Riddle Riddle. Of course, Aaron Keefe is from Hey Riddle Riddle. And that Pixar thing that aired on Disney Plus recently. Yeah, Aaron Keefe, Boston legend. I have her signature on a Hey Riddle Riddle poster that I have hung up in my basement. I got to see them live also in Brooklyn, I believe, last year. It was we were making a lot of trips out to Brooklyn, and yeah, I got a signed poster for her and Adel and JPC. Woo. Aaron Keefe advances. All right. Ooh, this is a fun one. All right, Chat Roulette 4 versus Haley McLean. All right, so Chat Roulette 4. Let me see. Oh, unfortunately for Haley, 4 is a banger of a Chat Roulette. I did take notes on what differentiates some of these episodes. Fourth annual is the guy who says "give it to the donkeys" when I talk about charity money, which is an iconic line. The killer Panera Lemonade, that lady who just kept talking about it, she was so funny. I don't even know what I wrote there. Yeah, literally don't know what I wrote. And the Skinwalker story from the woman who lived out, I think it was in Nevada. Just an all-timer story. Really was. That's maybe my favorite Chat Roulette, if that's an inkling of anything. But that said, my favorite Chat Roulette versus Haley is the second episode. Haley McLean from MinMax, who's a actual lawyer, one of the legs or arms of the Game Query Exodia. Anyone from Game Query gets a pass for life. They're OGs. And this is the fun fact about this episode. This was the first episode I recorded. So because I was so nervous, Haley asked me, "Oh, how many of these have you done?" And I didn't want to say you were the first one ever. So I fibbed. Sorry, I apologize, but I fibbed. And I said, "Oh yeah, I did one with my friend who's a nurse, and I did one with my friend who's in a band, and blah, blah, blah." I did none of those things. I had plans to. That never transpired because I made the rule not to ever interview just friends. I think that's, not fair. So I didn't end up doing any of those, but I fibbed to Haley and said I recorded a few. And the other thing that I still feel really bad about was right after that, I recorded one with Ben Hansen. And after having both in the backlog, I said, it feels like Ben Hansen should be a first episode choice, because at the time he was a much bigger name. He might still be, but with all due respect to both. So I put Haley as episode 2, and to this day, I still feel a little bad about it. I still feel like I should have put her at 1, because it was right. It was right. So I don't know. That's the lore there. I'm gonna go Haley. It's my favorite Chat Roulette episode, but the literally the first ever one I ever recorded. It's gotta advance. Great one here. Next matchup, Daniel Bloodworth from Easy Allies and game trailers and whatnot from back in the day versus the Draft Punks 99 Questions crossover episode. So I think Bloodworth is advancing here, so I'll give the draft punks one their due. So that's when it was Brian and Travis who were the two kind of full hosts of it, two of the three, and they invited on Ryan Stabell, who shows up for, gosh, at least another 2 or 3 episodes, his own of the Extra Life charity ones as well. And he was on Bewleywood Game too. Yeah, he showed up several of times. So they had me on an episode of Draft Punks, where the whole gimmick is. I'm gonna take a sip of my beverage here. Where the whole spilled a little bit. Where the whole gimmick of it is, they do a 5 team snake draft every episode of a topic of someone's choosing. So could be Marvel movies, it could be cars, it could be whatever. In this one, it was questions from my show to see who could get the best roster of 5. And I loved it because we both released it as our episodes that same week. So it was like the best kind of crossover brand synergy, whatever you want to call it. For, you know, their show, which is no longer going on, and my show. And I love that. I really love that. That was just felt like a Predator handshake, you know, in that moment of those guys and myself. But yeah, Bloodworth advances. Bloodworth is a true OG. Just an amazing person, an amazing mind for the business. Oh, the great Mary Kish versus Chat Roulette 2. Now, again, not this. How long are we into? All right, not as long as I thought, but I still won't go long on this one. Chat Roulette 2, probably my least favorite of them. It just doesn't have as many moments as I truly remember from Chat Roulette 1 or 4 specifically, which I really love. So I remember this one for being the frat guys at like a nearby college, which I thought was funny. Beverage. But overall, yeah, nothing to really write home about. Mary Kish, I gotta go Mary. Just a good heart, a good soul, and great mind for content, you know, really. All right, last one of Division 2 here. We have Lucy James versus Cecily Bro. Cecily is one of those, if she wasn't first 10, she was like just outside of first 10 episodes that we ever recorded. And so funny, like so naturally funny. I think she's finding some success as an actress, which I love. She also did a podcast, So Yesterday, where they just reviewed like old movies, old like 90s kind of preteen movies. So fun. Lucy James. Lucy James is advancing. I gotta say, she's just too kind and too powerful of a force in the media world. Oh, now this is interesting. Oh, so it's making us do all of bracket 1 first. Oh, okay. All right. This makes sense. This makes sense for content, so we don't have to tell the same stories over and over again. Shelby versus Matt Helgeson. Matt Helgeson, I love you. Shelby Wilstein's a pound for pound better episode. Bewleywood Game. All Stars versus Imran Khan. The star power, Imran. The star power. You're not going to deny me that. 8 of them on there. 2 from Game Informer, 2 from Pew Pew Bang, 2 from Easy Allies, 2 from Headgum. Like, what are we doing? Yeah. John Smith versus Brian Shea. Oh, I hope they go out for beers, these two. This could be Hollywood's next it couple right here. The next Ben and Matt. John Smith, I'm going with. Bailey Myers versus Brennan Lee Mulligan. That's a brutal matchup. Bailey, I think you would have held your own just about against anyone else here, but Brennan Lee Mulligan is advancing. Don't make me do it to him. It's Zach Kornfeld from the Try Guys versus Jeff Bakalar. Oh my God. All right. Man. Oh, Bakalar is the Jersey icon. Bakalar, Buel Award winner. He's both of those things. He's a Buel Award winner and he's from New Jersey. Oh, how do I do it? Zach Kornfeld advances. Zach from the Try Guys gave 4 hours of his vacation to me. I go, Zach, Jeff, I love you, and I'll see you at any bar in New Jersey. You name the place. I'll be there, Guinness in hand. Katie Maravich, who's also whose PNG is smaller than the others, versus Paul Robolino. A matchup of dropouts that is just, I'm no smarty pants for making this, because now I have to make this call. Smarty pants is showing dropouts. That's a good pun. I go Katie. I'm going Katie. Paul. Because I'm trying to remove recency bias, but I'm making sure I'm not removing too much recency bias, because I love Paul's episode. But I think I go Katie. And someone commented to me the other day that the Katie Maravich episode needs a little volume mixing. I guess I didn't do a very good job of it like 4 years ago, so it's my bad. I'll fix that. All right, next matchup. This is Dallas Taylor from 20,000 Hertz versus Isla Hink. Yeah, it's Isla. Isla's too good of a person. The Amazon Alexa versus Grace Helbig. The Alexa was good. That episode was good. Alexa, play Remix to Ignition.
Well, getting your music now. Ignition Remix and similar songs on Amazon Music.
Usually I don't do
Alexa, pause. Okay. So I know that worked for mine, and I think it picked up on the microphone. If it worked for yours at home, you gotta leave me a podcast review, right? You gotta leave me a podcast review letting me know that that's what happened. It feels like the fair transaction in life. I'm going Grace Helbig. Grace Helbig advances. Rebecca Valentine versus Riley Anspaugh. Which is a real fight that could happen any Saturday night, anywhere on the West Coast. I'm going to go Riley Anspaugh. Just for her contributions to the show Survivor. She's a producer on the show Survivor. Michael Swaim from Cracked versus Patrick McDonald from Smosh. Feels like, man. Patrick McDonald is moving on. Patrick McDonald, the sax man himself, is moving on. He talked about sax man in that like social clip that I have for like 2 minutes before we even went to question one. Like, I could have ended the whole show there and I would have been happy. So great. All right. Chat Roulette 1 versus Anna Diaz. Chat Roulette 1. Oh my God. This is so mean. Chat Roulette 1 advances. Anna, you're the best. Jeffrey James 2 in the next matchup versus Elizabeth Valenti. Oh no. Jeff 2 specifically? Jeff 2 is a good one. It's a really good one. It's nowhere near as long as the first, which I think is just over 4 hours, which is amazing. Like, what a feat of strength that is to do. Valenti though. Valenti is just, I want candy to fall from the sky for Elizabeth Valenti because she deserves it for being a good person. She recently got engaged. She deserves the world. I give it to Jeffrey James. Oh, my heart. The two comedy icons, Elise Willems versus Beth May. No. No. Oh my God. That's brutal. That's brutal. Beth May, of course, being a Buel Award winner, which is as good as anything in this world, and came back for the Lost Roundtable episode. Oh my God. But Elise Williams, I got to see in person, who recognized me in person. If I do a Buel too, you know she's getting a Buel. God. Beth May means the world to this show, but Elise Williams is advancing. Elise Williams is the pound for pound better episode. That's what I need to think of. Pound for pound greatest episode. That's it. Bill Oakley from The Simpsons versus Aaron Keefe from Hey Riddle Riddle. Aaron Keefe had that really good joke about me being a fish during the steak, chicken, fish question. And she goes, fish. And then she throws out a line, which happened a few times early on. Oh, this is the fun fact about this one, is that the first maybe 10 or 15 episodes, I did not do, maybe 10, I didn't do with video. I did audio only, I think because I didn't trust my camera to hold up through my bad internet connection early on in the pandemic. Yeah. And I was just such a sucker for old school radio and like shock jock radio, Ron Fez show. Yeah. And, I just wanted that. So yeah, like I never got to see Aaron Keefe on a call. I never got to see, Riley Anspaugh on a call for that, recording. Like, yeah. So Beth May makes a joke. It's one of the few times I think it's acknowledged in those first couple episodes, where she goes, well, I haven't actually seen you, so you might be a fish. And that's why I sound so disappointed when she says fish or steak, chicken, fish.
You did make a noise where I was like, oh my God, is Bob a fish? I actually haven't seen a video of you. So I'm like, oh my God, are you a fish? And I just said I would eat you for dinner.
And in an unrelated note, I do need to douse myself in seawater for 1 second here.
Oh,
Unrelated.
I knew it. I absolutely knew it. He's a
No,
fish.
No.
Google him. You guys, I just Googled him and he is a fish.
Dang it. All my gill pictures. I knew I shouldn't have sent those around. God. I think I go Bill. What's his name? The one who's winning is the one whose name I simply cannot remember. Bill Oakley. God. Bill Oakley advances. I'm sorry. All right. Haley McLean versus Bloodworth. Haley's advancing. Sorry, Blood. Mary Kish. Ooh. Mary Kish versus Lucy James. Mary, Lucy James advances. Okay. We're back at the top here. We're burning through this side of the bracket before we get to the second half. Then I think we need to take a break. There we go. Shelby Wolstein versus the Buel Game All-Stars. Shelby's episode is an all-timer. I would recommend that to anyone, but the answer is the Buel Games All-Stars. John Smith from Funhouse versus Brennan Lee Mulligan. Brennan advances. He's too much of a powerhouse. Zach Kornfield versus Katie Maravich. We're going with Zach. Katie, I have a t-shirt with your face on it coming my way, and I still feel bad about that. Isla Hink versus Grace Helbig. It's Isla. For the peeing in the witching hole story, it's Isla.
And she was like, where were you? And I told her, and then she's like, oh, that's the witching hole. And I was like, bitch, you let me go pee in the witching hole? Like, what did you tell me? Like,
put up signs. Don't let people do the witching hole.
Yeah, it's like danger witching hole.
Don't pee in the witching hole. If I have a nickel for every time I've had to say that. Riley Anspaugh versus Patrick McDonald. Only one of these folks has won a Buel. Riley Anspaugh advances. Jeffrey James 2 versus Chat Roulette 1. Oh, I forgot we have listener questions. I forgot we have listener questions. I was so in it.
Hey Bob, it's your
Here's
pal
the
Smithy
message.
here.
Yeah.
I just wanted to phone in and let you know that my favorite moment of the 99 Questions podcast is and forever will be on the first Chat Roulette episode you ever did, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, when a potential guest took you completely off guard and flashed you. Of course, we didn't actually see it happen, thank God. But your reaction has me rolling on the floor every time. Play the clip.
I don't know if I might play the clip in the edit. But let's see if we can get through these next 10 in unmoderated. Oh boy. All right. Yep. That's a butthole. That's also a butthole. No. Okay. It's either ads or masturbating. There's no middle ground. Yeah, hey there, everybody. This is an editing note from your good friend Bob Buel. This was the part of the show where I went through the uncensored, unmoderated part of Chat Roulette. But I cut it out mainly because it's 9 minutes of me not speaking to anyone, but just seeing people with their genitals exposed. So I decided to cut that out. Anything you hear underneath me right now is basically all that's worth listening to. It's me discovering people who were touching themselves, and one guy who just wore a tie and literally nothing else. Yeah, that will advance it. Smithy's exactly right. Chat Roulette 1 is the answer. When I went into unmoderated chat, which I don't even think exists on there anymore, thank God, and I joined, and there was just a gentleman with his genitals exposed, completely nude. I believe he had socks and a necktie on. That was it. I believe it was an orange necktie, and standing there, full attention. And yeah, it's an absolute all-timer moment. Smithy's right. Chat Roulette 1 advances. Smithy is also the person who would always call in or write in saying, "What's your deal?" Which eventually resulted in Ana Diaz being asked, "What's your deal?" and being like, "What does that mean? What am I supposed to say here?" And it turned into a really clippable moment, which was great.
What's my deal? My deal is I love Oshawott. But I don't like Samurott. So there we go.
Bill Oakley versus Elise Willems. Oh! So the thing about the Bill Oakley episode that I will always remember is that I asked him the question that I was genuinely curious about for 30 years. And that is why The Simpsons is paced so differently than any other show that has ever existed. It does not have setup punchline. It has setup punchline, delivery, payoff, and then underlying awkward pause or something. I don't know. It is just it's a beautifully written show, and he wrote it during some of the best years, and he explained it to me in ways that I will still always remember. That everyone who worked in that show grew up on the combination of Mad Magazine and late night comedians, like the Letterman era of late night comedians. And he goes, that combination led to The Simpsons. That's the humor. That's the style. That's the pacing. And I went, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Michael Swaim, guest of the show, who did not advance in this tournament, said that, The Simpsons is paced more like a comic strip than it is a cartoon. I fully stand by that. Oh, so to learn that, or she's New Urkel.
I'm going to bring back Did I Do That? I'm going to take that on to myself and make that a thing.
I think it's perfect. I think it needs to live on for the next generation. And who better than a Canadian internet personality?
I'm New Urkel. I'm New Urkel.
Also, not a bad backup catchphrase. I'm New Urkel.
Yeah, I'm New Urkel. Shouting that in supermarkets and parks.
Ma'am, we're going to need to ask you to leave.
Yeah. But you don't understand. I'm New Urkel.
So Elise Williams advancing. Elise Williams advances. Lucy James versus Haley McLean. Haley is advancing. Oh, this could be the final. This could be the final. Bewleywood Game All-Stars versus Brennan Lee Mulligan. I printed this out beforehand because I wanted to give it a shout out here, not realizing I would have to read this after so much Arbor. Arbor Day is what this is. Arbor Day. I printed out the YouTube comment section for the Bewleywood Game All-Stars. It's pretty decently commented on, and there are some that make me so genuinely happy. From Psyduck Mantis. Man, this is such a joy. 2 hours flew by. Video Game Takeout saying, I'm usually an audio listener, but I looked up YouTube channel to watch this. Good stuff. Let's see. A Hip Kiss Design saying, this is Avengers Endgame for people with highly specific podcast interests. You, me, and probably like 5 other people. Really good. Really, really good. I think that's the most liked. Yeah, strong work. Great job, Bob, from Truffaut being a day one. Alexander McGrim saying, hey, that was fun. The Chocolate Factory saying, you're such an interesting dude. I've been hearing your name on streams for a decade plus, but you're also a Ron and Fez guy and a Bossman guy. You just appreciate good shows and appreciate the work put into good shows, and you're facilitating it the best way possible. Fun app. Absolutely love that. I love that a comment war broke out between the bats and the knives. Jonathan FW6TY saying, Kyle is 100% right about the knife. As long as you don't get hit in the head right away with a bat, which you absolutely could just tank that S and stab the other person. And no, you can't just deflect a knife. It's not that easy, which is why knife attacks are still extremely deadly. And then people saying, leave it to Kyle Bossman to blow the easiest question. LOL diabolical. Amazing show. And for the record, this is from Das Paint Train 2205. Last one from Chris Cueva 5583. For the record, Kyle was the only perfect person that was actually right about the knife versus bat question. Yeah, even the Wolf 4968 writing Team Knife. Love that, but my absolute favorite thing about that was a hard edit, right? I have to make sure everyone is synced up and in the right spot and have graphics in the background for the YouTube version that look good, and I can't edit out ums or uhs because it would chop into that. So it's like, it put sound effects in and blah, blah, blah. It's a rough edit, right? So to actually put it out, and then I got a comment from former guest of the show, Leo Vader, who I think has the greatest pound for pound YouTube video that's ever been made, called When I Slip on a Banana Peel. I've had him on the show. He does plenty of work for MinMax. He's an amazing guy. And he commented, the guy who I think has the best YouTube video ever, he commented on my YouTube video saying, he's from Minnesota. That's going to come into play in a second here. He said, Bob, joy is a rare commodity these days, and everything going on in my state, and I want you to know this made me so happy. All these people I know and love riffing and competing, plus Jeffrey James, who I love but do not know, and who I consider one of the funniest people alive. It is a surreal treat to watch them interact. I was beaming the whole 2 hours. Thank you for bringing all these great folks together, dude. Heart emoji. That made every second of editing for the Bewleywood Game All-Stars worth it. Brendan Lee Mulligan is advancing. between Zach Kornfeld and Isla Hink. Isla, a Buel Award winner. Lest we not forget. The irony. Throwing out an in the wild So a couple of times after I released an episode and I talk about how arduous the editing process was, like in Discord somewhere, they said, release the cut. Put back in all the ums that you edited out, and that's why it's taking so long to edit. And so I mentioned that at one point, very early on in the Zach Kornfeld episode, I think it was even before we recorded, saying, don't you worry, there won't be an to find in this here episode, which means I now had to make the bit of taking every single that was heard and dropping them all in a 9-minute supercut at the end of the episode. And with that cut, Zach Kornfeld tied Brendan Lee Mulligan's record for longest episode. But we know that is just an honorary record because the tie was only because of the cut. If the cut was not there, that episode would not be the length it is. And everyone knows that. And Zach Kornfeld advances. Isla, nothing but love. You're the best. We're going to listen to another voicemail.
Hi, Bob. Matthew Gowans here from Get Lost, the official Lost Rewatch podcast. If you were outed as a mafia mob boss and you had to, move to another country and go into witness protection, what would your job be? What would you want your job to be in that situation while you're in witness protection? You didn't ask, but mine would probably be mafia mob boss. Just sort of a hiding in plain sight situation. All right.
Interesting.
God bless. And good luck.
Yeah, Matthew Gowans. Gosh. Funny, that one. If I was in witness protection and I had to do a job, bartender, if that's allowed, if that's not too high key that everyone's going to key on me, I think bartender would be super fun. Make that a true living. That'd be cool. Great question, by the way. Great question. We got one more.
Hi, Bob. Eric here from hit podcast Lost in Narration and former Buel Wed winner. Just a question for you. What is your favorite podcast? Mine, since you're asking, is Lost in Narration, available on all platforms. Thank you. Love you. Bye.
So that was the second half of Lost in Narration. My headphones also disconnected, which is concerning. If the batteries died, I don't know. But we are here. Riley Anspaugh versus Chat Roulette 1. Man. That's a real kicker. It's Riley Anspaugh. Elise Willems versus Haley McLean. Man, it's a shame only one of these is New Urkel. That's Elise Willems going to take it. Haley, nothing but love. I said it myself. Brandon gets the award. Zach Kornfeld gets the honorary award. It's Brandon Lee Mulligan. Riley Anspaugh versus Elise Willems. Wow. Only one of them is New Urkel, and one is a Buel Award winner. I saw Riley at the Review live show in Brooklyn. A lot happens in Brooklyn, it turns out. And I actually went to a trophy shop and got a little award that said Buel Award winner and handed it to her. And there's a photo of me handing her award. And then she messaged me the next day saying how annoying it was to get onto a plane, which makes sense. You have to fly back to the West Coast. Elise Willems advances. Elise Willems is one of the pound for pound funniest episodes we've ever had. This is a crazy final. Brendan, semifinal, excuse me. Final for the first and second division, but semifinal in general. It's Brendan Lee Mulligan versus Elise Willems. Brendan has the most stories pound for pound of any episode ever. It's 4.5 hours. And they are fascinating. Every single one of them is worthy of a best of. Because I put together the best of, and there's still like 7 Brennan clips, and there was at least another 5 I wanted to that just would have felt rude at that point. Elise Willems' episode is maybe the one I recommend to people. They don't know what the show is. Just it has everything type episode. Man. Let's listen to one more. Let's listen to one more from... Oh, boy. Bill?
Hi, Bob. This is Bill from Connecticut.
Hey.
My favorite episode? It's Brendan Lee Mulligan. It's so long. It's so good. He's like such a positive beacon in the internet.
Yeah.
Question for you, I would say, if you could answer the Inside the Actors Studio questions, that'd be great. Like the Bernard Pivot, I believe it's, what's your favorite sound, your least favorite sound? What job would you most like to do if you weren't a podcast host? What job would you least like to do? What's your favorite curse word? And what do you think, if heaven exists? Or, basically, take it however you want, but, if you were meeting, say, Peanut at the Pearly Gates, what do you think he would say to you? Anyway, love the show. Carry on. Best of luck.
Bill. An absolute legend, Bill. Thank you so much for calling in. That rules. Favorite sound, genuine laughter. Least favorite sound, a nail file on fingernails. Favorite job or job I would have if I didn't need to. Feels like bartender or attendant at a Blockbuster Video, a local Blockbuster Video alternative that rents movies, or a record shop owner. Like, that would rule. That would truly, truly rule. Least favorite job, any corporate-y nonsense that just has to sit through meetings all day. Favorite curse word, damn. And if I could have it in what does St. Peter say at the Pearly Gates, he would say, hey, aren't you the guy that interviewed Brendan Lee Mulligan for 4.5 hours? I'd say, yeah. Brendan Lee Mulligan advances. Brendan Lee Mulligan wins the first and second division here, which is crazy. So we are about to launch headfirst into the next half. We're going to take a quick break for the sake of advertisements and so I can get an additional drink, maybe a snack. There might be a snack. What am I? I don't deserve a snack? We're going to pick all that up after the break. Well, I hope that everyone listening is enjoying their Arbor Day in whatever way they mentally or legally want to. I know I'm going to enjoy myself. But while you're enjoying yourself, I need you to do a couple quick things. Just close your eyes and focus with me here. I need you to follow 99 Questions Pod on Instagram. I need you to follow 99 Questions Pod on Blue Sky. And more importantly, I need you to acknowledge the song that's playing right now from the Mini Vandals, the song that's going to bring us back from break from DJ Williams, the opening song from Diala, and the closing one from Single Friend. They've been here for the whole journey, and they ain't going anywhere. We have so much more of this unhinged episode still to come in the back half. And we're back with the cheers. And we're back with the gosh darn cheers. Rolling into the back half here, which I promise will not go as long as the first. Raphael Chastain. Sorry, I'm having chocolate covered jelly rings. They're excellent. They're excellent. Raphael Chastain versus Caldwell Tanner. Caldwell Tanner, of course, from Not Another D&D Podcast. From Drawfee. Man, he's one of the first 10. He's one of those first 10 that felt like he got us over a hurdle. You know? Man, but Raphael was so funny. I'm going Caldwell. Going Caldwell. Man. That was rough. Jenna Stieber versus John Holland. John Holland, another Funhouse standout, who now does a Poor Choices Kitchen, P-O-U-R, Poor Choices Kitchen, on YouTube, where he always makes a drink and a food combination. I would say food beverage as I reach for my beverage. He's exemplary. Jenna Stieber, I think, overall brought more joy. And if I'm here for the joy, I'm going Jenna Stieber. Oh. Kyle Bossman versus Chat Roulette 3. Now, what do I remember about Chat Roulette 3? Chat Roulette 3 is the one where the last guest, I knew I was going to match with one more person at the end of the night, do the last, 10 questions, 5 questions, whatever they were, and call it a day. And I happened to match with a Twitch streamer who was twitching to a couple hundred people at the time. I was chatting with him live over Twitch, and like sound effects were going off, and subscription things, when the chat like subscribes, a little jingle will go off, like all that was going off, and it was pure joy.
Chat, do we do this?
Chat, come on,
I'm live. There he is, chat.
Try not to headbang.
This is amazing.
It took you 2 seconds to get a gift. That was insane how fast that was.
Holy cow. Which I loved. Kyle Bossman takes it. We'll talk about it more in the next round. Amy Vorpal and Becca Scott, another dropout. Destruction. Let's listen to a voicemail. Listen to this one from Hamza.
Hello, Mr. Buell. My name is Hamza. I'm also a fellow New Jersey resident. Just calling in to say that for your Arbor Day special, I'd like to leave a comment and talk about my favorite episode, if you don't mind.
I love it.
Firstly, my favorite episode is your interview with Becca Scott. I've been a very big fan of Becca Scott for a couple of years now, and her work and her unabashed obsession with geekdom and being nerdy and being unapologetic with herself I think that energy came across beautifully in your interview or in your interview with her, and it's a pleasure to listen to. It's a comfort to listen to. If I remember having a bad day, I will toss on an episode and get lost in the music of Diala and hear you guys talk and interact. I've tried Becca's Perfect Breakfast, and yeah, not a lie, that thing is pretty perfect. That is soothing breakfast for the soul. But anyway, my comment, and I think the reason why I'm really making this call is really to thank you, Mr. Buel, for this show and for the work that you do. I can't stress enough how pleasant it is, how comforting it is, and just how much of a joy it is to listen to your show. I can't tell you how many rough and long days has gotten me through, how many long flights or journeys it has gotten me through. The first episode I listened to is your interview with Brendan Lee Mulligan, because I'm a big Dimension 20 fan, and they said there's a 4-hour long Brendan Lee Mulligan episode. Yeah, I listened to it. So I'm like, all right, I'm in. But truly, I've listened to every single episode you've ever made. I've listened to every single episode you've ever made twice. Like, you really are just a gift to the podcast world. And I really cannot thank you enough for your decency, for your kindness, and for the incredibly good vibes that you put out with each episode you make. Thank you so much. Please keep up what you do, and a very happy Arbor Day to you. Thank you.
Yay! Happy Arbor Day, Hamza. It's very touching. I very, very much appreciate all those words. Thank you, sir. Amy Vorpal is a very kind soul, but I'm going Becca Scott. The Bewlywed Game 2 versus Adel Rafai. This is crazy. All right. What was Bewlywed Game 2? Well, as we know, that's where I had 4 podcast co-hosts in newlywed game style teams, seeing who knew the most about the other co-host. We had Best of the Rest, Chris and Andrew on there. We had the Great Game Debate, Caden and Jonah, and Draft Punks, Brian and Preston, and the reunion of Game Query, which was AJ and Blake. AJ being another one who took time out of his vacation to his parents' house to record, which he shouldn't have done that. That's crazy. He definitely shouldn't have, but he did. And it was amazing. Adel Rafai is the reason we're here. For both the Arbor Day special, which is what he talked about on his episode, which is why I always bring up Arbor Day anytime someone says favorite holiday, because he said he wanted to have an Arbor Day parbor. Just really go all out, like green tinsel across the walls.
And I'm going to call it, I'm going to do a bit of a slant rhyme, and I'm going to call it it's not a slant rhyme. I'm going to make it a rhyme. It's going to be called my Arbor Day parbor. So instead of party, it'll be parbor. And people in the know will love it, and people who don't know will hate it.
People go, this typo? No, not even close.
And of course, we carve up a tree.
You want some more gravy for your tree there? A slant rhyme, as he called it. Not a slant rhyme. Yeah, really. I mean, for sure, my best early episode by a country mile. Like, the most pound for pound jokes for sure. The time in the Bewlywed Game 2 where it was Andrew, I believe, from Best of the Rest, or Chris from Best of the Rest, one of those two troublemakers over there. Great show, by the way. Great show of theirs. Discusses Girl Scout cookies and why they're named different things in different parts of the country. And I believe it's AJ from Game Query says,
The reason the cookies have different names is
Oh,
because they are produced by two different companies. And those different companies.
Where's the
supply
divide in the country? Like, what line do I
It's
cross?
all
to get to?
dependent on the local council and what they choose to go with. That could be a matter of different factors.
The local Girl Scout Council?
Yes, there's a bunch of different ones.
Big
I'm
Girl
not
Scout
joking.
runs this
I'm being
country.
completely
I've
and
said it for
honestly
years.
serious.
It's dependent on if they chose the knife or the bat.
Yeah. If they ever get rid of the Thin Mints, I'm doing a January 6th.
They will never ever do that.
That's what we say every time we say
if they ever pull the Thin Mints, I'll do a January 6th on them. And the entire room collapsed in with laughter. All 9 of us. Oh God, it's so good. Yeah. Adel, we absolutely love you. You got us off the ground floor, but I'm going Buellywood game 2. It's so funny. Oh, what a brutal matchup here. This is, as we all know, Jeremy Video Games on the left versus Marcus Stewart from Game Informer. My God, what a matchup. Taking a sip of my beverage. Marcus Stewart, of course, coming back for Buellywood Game. All-Stars, representing Game Informer on both occasions, pre and post delusion of them, of the company, disillusion of the company. Man, what a bright personality. I adore him. I adore the work he does. The Jeremy Video Games episode is advancing, is what's happening here. Because I love that we did an episode with a fictional character, with someone in character the entire time. It's Jeremy Video Games. Next matchup, Oscar Montoya from Dropout versus Jeffrey James 1. The OG Jeffrey James episode. The 4-hour, not 4:20 something, not 4.5, but 4 hours. Oscar Montoya, another one that, like, the room feels brighter when they are in it. I think Jeffrey James is advancing. Yeah. I hate to do it on both sides. What a twofer. So this is, on the right is the Buelly Awards, our best of episode that I put together, and award show for previous guests, which came out just so darn good. And then Jonathan Mangum, he's one of the co-hosts of Let's Make a Deal. He was on what's the name of the game show? Name My Line? No. Whose Line Is It Anyway? Jesus Christ. He was on Whose Line Is It Anyway? Something with a line. Yeah, he was in the movie The Bucket List. I have a question with the words bucket list in it. Like, he was the lawyer, I think, in The Bucket List. Oh my God, what a career, what a oomph to be able to say in emails to prospective future guests, to say, hey, I had a guy from CBS's Let's Make a Deal. Like, I can say the host of that show and I wouldn't be wrong. Like, I might, they might prefer the word co-host or something, but it's not wrong. Host/announcer. The winner is the Buelly Awards. Buelly Awards advances. This is a fun one. On the left is Too Mellow, independent hip hop artist. And on the right is Jessica Vasami from Rooster Teeth fame and her podcast with Elise Willems. Jessica Vasami, just a force of nature, doing so much good work, but also keeping her life offline so she can have successes in her personal life is just awesome. When you can actually do that. And Too Mellow, what a talented artist. And got famous for doing like a Chrono Trigger Jay-Z mashup, if I remember right, or something along those lines. And yeah, since then, I don't know if that's right, since I'm very I've had a bunch of Arbor. Been partaking in some Arbor on this ye old Arbor Day. And we take a drink. And we absolutely take a drink. No idea where I was going with that. No idea. So at one point I had a T Public store where I was selling designs of like pixel art, completely illegal stuff. And, was promptly DMCA'd down, but I would take the sprites of a character when they were like knocked out or dead and just put that on a shirt. And I thought that was a cool, I would wear that shirt of like Robo from Chrono Trigger downed, or Guile from Street Fighter downed, or something like that. Sonic the Hedgehog when he's downed. I had all those on there. It's like, that's kind of funny. I got a message one time because I sold one that was Frog from Chrono Trigger, the knight who's in the frog body. And it messaged me and said, "Hey, I'm Too Mellow. I'm this rapper and I'm going on tour. And while I rap about Chrono Trigger, I'm going to be wearing your shirt with Frog from Chrono Trigger on it." And I was like, "Oh, that's so sick." So I got to interview him like 5 years later and mention that to him, which is just like so cool. Something I would literally never be able to do, nor why would any side care, but I absolutely adored it.
Did you buy my Frog from Chrono Trigger shirt, or was this just some dude?
No, I absolutely bought the shirt. It was me.
That's so cool.
And I thought Frog's death animation was cute. So you got me. It's extremely adorable.
Jessica Vasami, the thing I remember from the behind the scenes is having so many tech issues. I think it was something with my internet was weird. It was not on her. Please. She's a gem of a person. It was definitely on my side. No, people, no, please stop coming to my utter defense. Between the two, I think I go Jessica Vasami. Both great. Chat Roulette 5 versus RJ City. Yeah, RJ City from AEW and the YouTube show Hey EW, where he like does joke interviews with the wrestlers there. Yeah, his episode is an all-timer. His episode is 100% an all-timer. It's going to be one of those, like, I recommend you listen to this if you know who this person is, or quite frankly, even if you don't. Let's see. Yeah, Chat Roulette 5 is where I got the temporary co-host for a bit, which I thought was fun, and a lot of people messaged me later being like, "God, that guy was so annoying," and I was like, I don't know, I thought it was fine, but I definitely got that feedback from a couple of folks. RJ City advances. The guitar player on Chat Roulette 5 was really good. Open Mike Eagle Hip Hop All-Star versus a very interesting one, the PAX 2023 Spectacular. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Because PAX East is where I went with a media badge, so I had to cover it in some way, shape, or form to justify the media badge. But yeah, I went and I interviewed like 15 different people, between developers of games, artists on games, programmers on games, just fans in attendance, cosplayer at one point. Shout out to my producer Dan, one of my best men, or groomsmen, or whatever the heck you call him, at my wedding, producing on that episode, so he tried to get media credentials too. Yeah, that one was super fun, and it was just like an exercise in what I could do off of an iPhone. You know, like, do I get external mics? Do I get external this and that? Like, I don't think I did. I think I did everything raw dogged through the bottom of my iPhone, and it came out great. I hate how good it came out with how bare bones it was. That said, Open Mike Eagle advances. Alex Stadnick, a ray of sunshine that the industry needs more of. He's being kept away from us at Bandai Namco, I believe, still. Absolutely crushing it, absolutely killing it on the regular. But dude deserves to be out there. Dude deserves to be out there in the zeitgeist. He's a son of a man. S-U-N. And then AI chatbot Sarah. I can't. It feels bad to advance both Amazon Alexa and the AI chatbot in the same episode. That just feels like I'm on an agenda, quite frankly. She did have some great lines, of which I have TeePublic shirts made about. Her saying, "I love clean boats." When I said I cleaned boats is so funny to me. What's the strangest job you ever had?
I used to work in a coffee shop. It was weird. How about you?
Worked at a bakery, I suppose, or I cleaned boats. Those are, I guess.
That's so cool.
It wasn't, but
I love clean boats.
You.
I love the smell of the ocean.
You love clean boats, eh? Oh, there's another one. Oh, her advice was oh gosh, now I can't think of it. Shoot. What's your catchphrase?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's never settle for more.
Never settle for more?
I like that quote.
Do you mean never settle for less? Because that's... Wait.
Yes, that's exactly what I mean.
That's not what you said. You very clearly said never settle for more.
I'm feeling weirdly nervous.
That would have been edited out, but I ain't edited anything out of this episode. It's going to be unlistenable anyway. Might as well make this an easy edit for all involved. I think quite frankly, it just adds to the panache here. Stadnick advances. As it was meant to be. As it was truly meant to be. Janet Garcia from Pen to Pixels, from MinMax, from Games and Other Games. Games and Not Games, excuse me. Games and Not Games. Jesus. Versus Ben Hansen, guest numero uno. Secretly numero dos, but released as numero uno. From Game Informer, inventor of MinMax. That's so funny. So effing good at his job, man. So effing good. Like, I get jealous because he just keeps pumping out brilliant ideas and surrounding himself with great people. And I think that goes hand in hand. That feels wise to say. Janet Garcia, of course. We recorded. She had such a cold. She had such an absolute cold. I'm taking a bite of this Girl Scout cookie, by the way. They make them real good. They make those cookies very good. Very good. Janet Garcia had like a cold or flu or something. She put in like the MJ flu game. Her and another guest that we're going to get to later. Arasha from Smosh. Both were sick as a dog when they came in, and I felt so bad asking them questions, but they rocked through it. They absolutely rocked through it. Ben Hansen, you know what? It might have been Ben Hansen, but I remember when we were recording, he was like, all right, I have time, but I have to jump on stream in an hour. Can we do this time? And I was like, oh God, like, I'm sure his day is so busy and so much busier now with children, with some newborns. But yeah, I felt bad for taking up his time, but that's why that first episode is like exactly an hour on the dot. And he could not stick around and chat. He literally left that into a live stream. I remember seeing it live, like seeing the notification. Yeah, I don't know. Without the like gung-ho spirit of a Ben Hansen, I don't know if this show would exist, if I'm being honest. Janet Garcia, man. She's good. She's dang good. Ben Hansen advances. Leland Bowden from Andy Mack and just a world of improv comedy. Cat prov, dog prov, stuff like that. Versus the original Bewley game, which, as we know, Haley and Mike Tucker from Game and Makeup, Haley's second appearance, Ryan Stabell from Gotta Rank 'Em All, Matthew and Eric from Lost in Narration, which we've heard their questions earlier in the night, and Michael Peralta and Anthony from M&A's Excellent Adventure. What great people all around. So many great moments from that. When they made up the joke that I clipped people's toenails by nibbling on them, and we would open a store at the mall called Nibbles, which would just nibules, which would just be me chomping at people's feet.
They have those fish just like around.
Yeah, you stick your feet
Absolutely.
in and they nibble all your skin clean off until your feet are smooth.
I've seen like pop-ups in malls of that. You just walk past hundreds of
Yeah.
people walking past, and they're just nibbling away at some guy's feet.
So Haley, what you're saying is, in another universe, Bob Buel is akin to a fish that eats dead skin.
Yes. I don't know
Very
how we
good.
got there exactly. Yeah. That's
Very
That's
good.
the thing that Michael wants to break. Is Bob Buel being a fish.
So funny. A line that I still use to this day. When the quote unquote the judges are mentioned, who are always nearby. There's always a handful of judges just in case you need things being judged without seeming judgy. Yeah. Completely lost my train of thought. There. Oh. It was the line from Matthew in Lost in Narration, who said, these judges, it'd be nicer if they weren't so damn judgmental.
I'm looking at the judges. They're going to allow it. I like it. They have yet to refuse me.
How much do you pay those judges, Bob?
It's an unpaid internship, in fact. Dude, they're doing it for class credit, and that's all they need. Haley,
They can get paid when they stop being so damn judgmental. Like, who asked for that?
Still doing that joke. It's a good joke. All right, before we get into this one, let's hear another question from Matthew Gowans.
Hi, Bob. Matthew Gans here from the official Smallville Rewatch podcast. Somebody save me. Could you guys never do it? Just save me. I don't care how you do it. Just save me.
Oh, good. Let's get this question from Eric.
Hey, Bob. Eric here from Hit Podcast Lost in Narration. I guess my only question for you is, what was your favorite moment of 99 questions?
Ooh.
All right. Thank you. Love you. Bye.
Weird. God, there's a few. Best moment ever. Bootsy Collins. Talking to Bootsy Collins in the cameo episode, and I sent him the question, how cool was it in Jurassic Park when the raptors are running through the kitchen? And he said that P-Funk would look like the raptors in the kitchen in Jurassic Park running. Yeah, he compared himself, his old bandmates, to raptors. That has a real serious contender. They look great. The Arbor. The Arbor of it all. Great answer from Isla Hink when I asked, what's something you've done and will never do again? She said, be a man. That fucking ruled. That absolutely ruled. Sorry for my language. I don't like cursing. It's probably that one. It's probably that one. Didn't you ask best podcast before? Did I not answer that? It's probably been an hour or so. The one Starly Kine hosts, Mystery Squad. It's the best 6-episode podcast ever. The best. We're gonna go Bewley game. All right, rapid fire. Streeter Seidel from College Humor and head writer of Saturday Night Live to man, Charles Hart. Yeah. The heart of Game Informer right now, and I do truly mean that. What an absolute talent. I have another jelly ring, I think. Yeah, might as well take out a couple. Quite frankly, we're going to take out a couple. Yeah. I should order Chinese food. Realistically, that's what I should do. Before this episode's out. Yeah. With his lunch songs. Iconic. Couldn't be nicer. Came back for the Bewley Game All-Stars. Legend. Always will like and repost something I put out there. Legend. A shining star. Holy cow, this guy's a rock star. Streeter Seidel, I think of him every time I empty the lint trap in my dryer, because he says how satisfying it is to get it in one, as he calls it, and he goes, you gotta get it in one. It is nice when you get it in one and it's just one solid sheet.
You gotta get it in one. When it breaks, it's a tragedy. It's gotta be one full sheet.
And it's my favorite thing anyone's ever said to anyone. Also, he lives near me. He's also from Jersey. He rules. Charles. Charles. I'm going. Charles advances. One last thing about the Streeter episode. I was in the. I went to the bar after the live show in Brooklyn that Riley Anspaugh put on for a review, and we saw Amir Blumenfeld, Jake and Amir, at the bar, along with several other people. And someone introduced me, and I was getting something signed by him. I might have gotten it signed by Amir too. And he goes, "Oh," I said, he goes, I do that podcast, the 99 Questions. And he goes, "Oh, I heard Streeter on that one. That was cool." So he listened to them, which is really cool. I'll listen to one more question here. Capo.
Bobby Buel, Shay, it's your good friend Coppadrazi here from all the way down in Australia. I have a question for you on this, the very Arbor Day. We don't really celebrate it that much here in Australia, but to make the question all about me, my last name, all the way back in like family heritage, goes back to the word ardor, which means intensity of emotion. So I'm asking you, what is your ardor for Arbor Day? Coppadrazi out.
Wow. And the sign off. I don't recall what the question was, if I'm being honest. Yeah, not really remembering what your question was.
Bobby Buel, Shay in Australia, but to make the question to the word ardor, which means intensity of emotion. So I'm asking you,
why do I love Arbor Day? Got it. Because of the Adal Rafai joke. Because of Adal Rafai making a joke about it during his episode, which now makes it my go-to answer anytime anyone asks for my holiday, which makes it now my thing. And my wife was having a birthday party where you had to dress as a holiday. I dressed as Arbor Day, and I had a long brown tree trunk, like full length toga type thing. And I dyed my beard and mustache and hair green. And and then I held a little flower at one point. And I was a tree for Arbor Day. So, and you know, green things are good. Shout out green things that can be ingested or inhaled in any capacity. Those are two good things to do to states of matter. Just gonna refill here. Hope that comes through. That's kind of nice. It becomes the Lost Round Table episode versus Liana Rupert. Liana is a kind soul who has been through way too much. She's an absolute rock star. She's tougher than anyone I've ever interviewed, I think. Military veteran. All-star. All effing star. 99 Questions Lost Round Table episode was a crazy one that I never thought I would get together. Beth May, Leo Vader, Isla Hink, Jesse Vitelli, and Aaliyah Roberts, all at a round table, just talking about their favorite things from the episode Lost. I rewatch that one quarterly. I will be in the bedroom in a bad mood, and I will put that on YouTube and listen to myself talk to such amazing people about one of the most brilliant shows ever. I love it. Being able to make Isla laugh, being able to make Leo Vader laugh, being on the same page with what we, appreciate out of that show. Will never stop being cool. Liana is a legend. I have to go the Lost episode. It's just too powerful. Only 5 people could have beaten her. Crazy matchup. The cameo episode versus Sean Koss. Sean Koss is my wife's favorite artist, and I got him on the show so I could impress her. So Sean Koss is part of the reason I'm married. Let's cheers that. Let's absolutely cheers that. Now Zdravia to me. Sean Koss is a great artist. Look him up, please. Cameo upset advances. The Halloween Spooktacular. Oh, we're in the next division here. Oh, yeah. Have been. Halloween Spooktacular versus Andrea Renee from What's Good Games. Gosh. Man. What a tough choice. Andrea Renee is such a tough cookie, who just like takes no guff and really puts on a heck of a performance anytime she's on a show. You can tell she's like buzzing. She is just at 200% because her output is so unbelievable. Halloween Spooktacular. For the sake of the scary stories in the community that we got from the community. Spooktacular wins. Yeah, I'm sorry. Those scary stories absolutely roll. 2 day ones. It is the great Blake Hester from Game Query. Never stop sniping. OG of OGs. Grand poobah of OGs. Against from Reno 911. Mary Birdsong. Crazy. Mary Birdsong. Reno 911 is like all-timer. Is all-timer TV show. Razzing on the freaking 12 the whole time. Unreal. Blake Hester advances. Yeah. Jackie Ue versus Jupiter Jetson. I said in the opening trailer and pitch for the show, which was recorded so badly. I don't know what I was doing. It sounds like garbage. But I believe I still have it up. I'll put it as a second trailer, a more recent trailer, but that one is still there. That I want to interview everyone across the world. There was less celebrity focus. It was more individual job focus. That's why I was mentioning my friend who's a nurse, or my friend who's in a band, or something like that. But now we just go after more celebrities or people I like. I said in that I would interview everyone from a porn star to a priest. Hey, there's something holy about them. I don't know. That's a little bit. Yeah, all right. Jupiter Jetson was really cool. What do you want to be remembered for? And she said,
being remembered at all would be great. If it happens to be for my killer throat abilities, dope. If it happens to be because I wasn't a jerk, even doper. If it's because I'm unintentionally the naked neighbor, I'll take it. But I mean, being remembered isn't something we all get. It'd be nice if it happens.
Maybe a little from column A, a little from column B, a little from column C.
Yeah,
why not?
Whatever.
Either being a humanitarian or her amazing throat game. That's a quote that will live rent free for me. Jackie Ue, absolutely advancing here. What a legend. So funny on Smosh, so funny off Smosh. She's scratching and clawing in the acting world right now and deserves bigger. She's an all-star. And she recorded it while she was at donating her time at a camp, I believe, if I remember right. Some camp for improv or something like that. Jackie's advancing. 100%. Two main eventers. James Willems versus Ross Bryant. Oh, man. James Willems, husband of Elise Willems, who, as we know, is the new Urkel, and dang near won this entire tournament, which is wild. Ross Bryant is so sharp and so funny and just so talented. His memory of quotes, his memory of Shakespeare, He was a writer for Mystery Science Theater 3000. Like, you have to have these ancient references in your head to do that show. I go Ross Bryant. Sorry, James. Arasha Lalani versus 3D Blast. What a main event match here. 3D Blast, one of the beginning ones. I think, quite frankly, before I had my sea legs under me. And, just a real rocker. Makes amazing music. I still listen to his stuff on Spotify. Just look up 3D Blast, the letter D, Blast. And, stuff that's constantly inspired by Dreamcast era games and music, or Sega Genesis era games and music, specifically sampling some stuff from the Sonic franchise, which is just unreal good. Arasha's advancing here. Jeff Rubin and Jeff Cork. Jeff Rubin was another one that I watched so much of Bleep Bloop on College Humor that I he was a legend in my eyes. He was a new Matt Helgeson. Just grabbing a couple jelly rings here. Where like I super duper looked up to him. Put that over there. Him and Pat Castles, what a duo. His sketches, his Hardly Workings, amazing. I think he worked for Google or YouTube, something where him and his family should be so well off. He never has to appear on camera again. Bravo to him, sir. He earned it. Jeff Cork, all-time legend, is advancing. All right, we're not spending 10 years on everyone. Nicole Zavalich versus Nina Freeman. Nina Freeman is an amazing game developer and an amazing person. Nicole Zavalich, who is actually co-host with Elise Willems on a PBS show that airs on YouTube as well. Just so good. Nicole Zavalich is advancing. Look up Nina Freeman and her work. She made a game that I cannot remember the name of a couple of years ago that is life-changing. So good. Next matchup we will hear right after. Did we do this one?
Hi Bob, Connor Finnegan here. If you were to have a WWE style finishing move, assuming you don't already have one, what would the move be and what would you call it? I do have a few suggestions here. The Bueling Hammer, a play on Kenta Kobashi's Burning Hammer.
Very good.
I also have Kenta Kobashi's Bueling Hammer. And finally, the Stanley Knife. Thanks, Bob. Love the show.
Kenta Kobashi is very good and might be my my RuPaul Drag Race name. Kenta Kobashi. I'm just gonna take a photo of that. And then I'll see that tomorrow. I don't know. Oh, I'll know what that means. Someone knows my middle name too. Stanley. Connor Finnegan, all-timer from somewhere in the other coast, Scotland, Ireland. There's no way of knowing. There's no way of knowing the difference. Now I'll get a letter from all the Protestants. Well, in the old WWE video games like SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain and stuff, my finisher was a clothesline from hell called the BFC. Best effing clothesline or biggest effing clothesline. BFC. And just a super stiff clothesline. I was always kind of in love with the idea of like the fact that just a clothesline is enough to beat both Brock Lesnar and Funaki is very fun to me, where that is not the case with every other move. Buell FC. BFC. I'm sticking with that. Buellist effing clothesline. BFC. Yeah. Lock that in. Next matchup, Kylie Brakeman versus Dan Reichert. Dan Reichert recorded pre him getting good work at home recording equipment, which is hilarious. Now it's all he does, and it rules. Back then it was like out of a closet. It was so funny. Dan, for recommending the November Rain trilogy of music videos from Guns N' Roses, and then watching them all and messaging him saying, yeah, why did the dolphin have sex with Axl Rose at the end? And he goes, exactly. And then like we got in a little like 10-minute conversation about that music video. Yeah. Kylie Brakeman, truly so funny. So naturally funny. Dan Reichert is advancing. This is brutal. Sam Reich from Game Changer, from Dropout, versus Greg Jovi, wrestling manager, pro wrestling manager out of the Midwest, I believe. Or somewhere in the country, I don't know. Greg Jovi has maybe the single best story out of anyone. Maybe Brendan Lee Mulligan excluding, but that's about it. Of going out drinking with Eddie Kingston, the pro wrestler, which is still my life goal, to get Eddie Kingston on here and ask him if that story really happened, of whether he doesn't drink tequila. He told the waitress, I don't drink tequila because the last time I did, me and Homicide like stole a pair of sneakers or something like that at $1,500 in my bed, something like that.
And the end of the night is this waitress keeps trying to get him to do a tequila shot, and he keeps going, I can't do tequila, honey. I can't be drinking tequila. And finally she's like, why? And he shoves himself back about 6 feet from the table. And he's like, this one night, me and Homicide and Low Key, like these are just normal names that you would tell a random person.
Yeah, he's using all the work names.
me and Homicide and Low Key, we go out. I'm drinking tequila. I black out. I wake up the next day with $300 cash and a new pair of Nikes, and that's why I can't drink tequila no more, honey. And he slams the shot of tequila. We go out. I put his bags in the other guy's car, and that was the best 24-hour period I've ever spent with Eddie Kingston.
Amazing.
I don't know. He's great. And a true all-timer of a story. All-timer of a scary story, too, that made the Halloween episode. Sam Reich. Oh. What is he, like 4'4"? He's advancing. He was here the whole time. Joe Juba. Joe Juba versus Leo Vader. Joe Juba, the inventor of Columbo's Day instead of Columbus Day, which is the only holiday I recognize on that particular day. I will happily honor that show in honor of Mr. Juba. Game Informer and replay legend. I believe he's in the what is it? A game It's like when the video game reviewers review something, but just give feedback to the company exclusively, so they can fix it. I forget what those are called, but he's doing that, and hopefully he's doing quite well, because they don't allow him to do outside projects. Leo Vader from MinMax, from Game Informer, from the best YouTube video that has ever existed. When you slip on a banana peel. That's the one. People have been looking for the one, and that is the one. And I genuinely mean that. I show that to everyone that I care about. I want them to see that. Having an iPad in the background, it was when we did video clips. This one might be a fun one to go back to, but I don't know if I can do it anymore. I had an iPad just off screen with a 8-hour loop of fireworks going off, and I placed it down. So then, at the very end of the episode, as my little outro to get to the hey, is there anything you want to plug or promote? As I pulled it out and I said, "There's fireworks for you," and he just goes, "Oh, they've been going the whole time."
And you know what? This is calls for a celebration and a visual bit that I planned several hours ago. Today, there are fireworks for Joseph.
Oh, wow. That's just been sitting there, those fireworks.
I put a 10-hour YouTube video on my iPad of fireworks going off, and I placed it just out of range.
Oh, well, thank you, Bob. I love fireworks.
Get some. So that'll pick up on the mic really well.
Yes, well, audio listeners, trust that there are fireworks going off.
He's the man. Chichi was the man, and I hope he's wildly successful. He's another one like Stadnick that I was like, I would watch something from you every day if you put it out, but you're too kind for this online world. It's Leo Vader. Great. Great. Johnny Stanton, the fourth D&D legend, who I did meet in person again at PAX Unplugged. I love seeing these people in person. Versus Jill Grote from Indie Informer. Jill Grote advances. Yeah. Yep. Kel Kripe versus Josh Robert Thompson. Josh Robert Thompson was the voice of the robot sidekick in the Craig Ferguson show, the late night show. I forget the name of the robot. And he's done a bunch of stuff with Red Letter Media recently. He's a voice actor, voice extraordinaire. He was on something. I don't know. Cal Kripe is advancing. Amazing comedian and creator, Instagram creator, TikTok creator, whatever. Janet Varney from Hey Riddle and Legend of Korra. She's the voice of Korra and Legend of Korra, of course. And Avalon Penrose. Oh, what a 1-2 of voice actresses. Of Meg in Hades. Megara. I have a block on why I can't say it right. Avalon. Oh, I remember Avalon's recording being so splotchy, her audio being all over the place. And I think because she's in Hawaii, she basically quit her job and moved to Hawaii to be a scuba instructor, basically saying F it, I'm just gonna go all in on myself. Grabbing more of these jelly rings, but just a couple. Come on there. Some empty calories. She bet on herself and she became a scuba instructor. And now she's blown it up with voice acting and content creating. She's killing it. Janet Varney advances. Recent standout episode. Ellie Joy Panic versus Jacob Geller. Wow. Jacob Geller, amazing YouTube video essayist, Nebula video essayist, and Fixture and Minmax as well, and is Mario, famously. And Ellie Joy Panic, an amazing Twitch streamer. Oh, it's Twitch versus YouTube. Oh, man. Yeah. That's a tough one. I know for a fact Jacob Geller is in my top 10 of most listened to episodes. He's always like number 5 or something, which is crazy. His fans are loyal. He puts out good stuff for good people. Ellie Joy Panic. I know the pun is there, and I'm sure I used it in the episode too. She's an absolute joy. Giving my Joan Rivers here. It's giving Rivers. No, she was great. She told me about a candy called Smarties Squashies or Drumstick Squashies. And that's only in England. And then it came over here, and so I specifically had to like search around. I think I ended up still ordering it on Amazon because I couldn't find it anywhere locally. And I tried it, and then I joined her Twitch chat and told her that it was, the raspberry and cream flavor is actually really good. And she was like, "Yes, I knew it." It was really fun. I think Jacob Geller. Jacob Geller advances. Man, this is a fun one. Oh, this is the last. This is the last of the 4th division here. This is the last of them, right? Yeah, we already did that. All right. Last of the episodes. Then we had covered all 128 individually. The episode with me, Bob Buel, episode 99, versus Suriel Vasquez. Crazy. Suriel's so uber talented. I wish there were more from him. I want to see more from him because he's so like raw. I love it. I really do. This is the craziest. I'm going with myself, which is so awful, right? It's so awful. Oh, man, that Arbor was stronger than I thought. Still, yeah, still going. That Arbor. Because Isla hosted it. Isla did such an amazing job hosting it. I'm going with my own episode. It's such a dick move. Caldwell Tanner versus Jenna Stieber. Yeah. All right, we can move. We've talked about these. Caldwell Tanner. He made me. No. Sorry, I want to rephrase that very, very clearly. He didn't make me. He inspired me to change one of the questions. So if you listen to episode literal 1 of this show, it will have 2 questions different than all the rest of the episodes. 97 used to be Tell Me a Lie. That was so bad I got rid of it and replaced it with the listener question of the week. Which is true. That is a bad question, especially so late in the game. But the late ones are like such heavy hitters. So I love 97 being this like amuse-bouche that clears the palate a little bit. That was because of Caldwell Tanner. When he well, no, that one was because of Caldwell Tanner. Jesus Christ. The listener question, that's a different one. There was another question that I had that was, what's your spirit animal? And I asked it to Caldwell, and he gave an answer, and he goes, hey, that's a weird, just so you know, like that phrase isn't really great. Like I was looking it up, and, a lot of people who believe in that kind of stuff are like, hey, don't mock us because of that. Like, that doesn't seem quite right. And, it's the equivalent of being like, oh my God, those shoes are so Jesus Christy, Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's not exactly 1-to-1, but it still didn't feel right. So after it was done, I think he was the one who offered originally, hey, do you want to, take that previous question, whatever it was, 50-something, 60-something, and replace it over. And so in the moment, it was 76 or 77, because I real quick looked at the community questions for that week, and one was from Smithy that just said, why? And I had to make a game time decision, and I upgraded Smithy's question of the week into a permanent question that has been asked to over 100 something guests on this show. So my eternal thanks to Caldwell Tanner for that. Kyle Bossman versus Becca Scott.
Hi, Bob. This is Bill from Connecticut.
I hear this one.
My favorite episode? It's Brandley Mulligan. It's so long. It's so good. He's like such a positive beacon in the internet.
Yeah.
This is
the
take it however you want, but if you were meeting St. Peter at the fairly great state.
Yeah. No, we got there. Becca Scott, Kyle Bossman. Oh man. I mean, Bossman came back for the Bewleywood Game All-Stars. It was supposed to be, this is the inside knowledge, it was supposed to be Isla and Elise reuniting for mandatory update. And Elise, really unfortunate, and she was just as beaten up over it. She had to reschedule super last minute. So it was like, all right, we're 24 hours away, and the only availability they have is like tomorrow night. So I was just panic emailing anyone with any relation to her whatsoever. And I reached out to Bossman, and he said, yeah, I could do it. And I just went, you saved this whole episode. This whole episode would have crumbled without you on it. Becca Scott, listen to me tell the story about how my mom got me an Xbox for Christmas when she told me it was sold out. That story is really dumb, but really means a lot to me. She listened to me tell the whole thing with open arms. She must be an amazing mother. And I know I would love to have her on for something in the future. I reached out about something and it didn't quite work out time-wise, but I think there's a potential of a Bewleywood game there, which I would really love. Kyle Bossman is advancing. That one was tough. Bewleywood Game 2 versus Jeremy Video Games. Jeremy Video Games, I don't know if I gave it enough credit before. I wanted it to just move on and talk about it here. This was an individual we knew from the Head Gum Discord, the HeadGum universe of fans, and TR was their name. And they reached out and asked, hey, I have this idea for an episode, and feel free to veto it if it's too weird. But I would do this character I'm going to do a podcast for called Jeremy Video Games. He's the creator of all video games. And he lives in this like shack, and he loves fishing and stuff like that. And I said, yeah, we're doing this. And we did the entire interview in character, where they were Jeremy Video Games. So funny. So funny. The podcast lasted one episode, but it's still one of the best ever. It's one of the best ever. So me interviewing someone in character is something I would love to do again. And if people have an idea for one or have a character idea for one, please reach out. 99 Questions Pod on Instagram, or 99questionspod@gmail.com, or 99 Questions Pod on Blue Sky. I would absolutely love to do it. Bueller Game 2. Let's move along. Jeffrey James versus the Bueller Awards. Jeffrey James, the 4-hour episode for a little bit there, was the grand champ in terms of episode length. The Bueller Awards, as mentioned, I got 5 guests back onto the show submitting award show acceptance speeches. Beth May, Sam Reich, Jeff Bakalar, Riley Anspaugh, and Isla Hank. Oh, and they all did, and they all knocked it out of the freaking park. Sam Reich gave like a 2.5 minute speech. It's crazy. He put in sound effects. The laughter and stuff, I didn't add that. He did, and then sent it over. He sent over a produced piece. That Jeffrey episode, it's too long that most people won't listen to it. But if you go through the whole thing, it's a banger, man. It's a banger. Man. It's Jeffrey James. Jessica Vasami versus RJ City. Yeah. I'm going to go with RJ. Open Mike Eagle versus Alex Stadnick. I want this dream blunt rotation. Me, Open Mike Eagle, Alex Stadnick. Yeah. Oh, I should order Chinese. I probably should order Chinese. Yeah. That's gonna be a really good idea, actually. That's gonna be a really good idea. Yep. All right. No, not pickup. We're going delivery. Let me enter the address. If you have a field that says enter address, you would think, is my whole phone frozen? What's happening here? The whole thing froze. Delivery. Okay. Jesus, Christmas. That was a lot. Alex Stadnick deserves every good thing that he gets in life. That freaking rapscallion. I want to give him a bear hug if I saw him. I would give him the biggest freaking bear hug. Open Mike Eagle advances. Ben Hansen or the Bewley-Wed Game 1? Bewley-Wed Game 1 is another all-timer. Won by Lost in Narration. Let's never forget. I would love, if I get 4 in there, I want to have an all-star of the best, the winning team from 1, winning team from 2, winning team from 2. So it would be Charles and wait. No. It would be Kelsey and Janet. Kelsey and Janet won. I remember because I actually did have to get them a $23 Visa gift card, which cost me like $5 in charges. Because you can't. If I sent 25, I think it would have been free, but because it was such an odd number or something, or under a minimum. Yeah. So Kelsey and Janet, Matthew and Eric from Lost in Narration, and who won the other one? Oh, Best of the Rest. Best of the Rest. Yeah. Right. Best of the Rest. That'd be a killer. That'd be a killer game. Man. All right. What are we doing? We're doing this still. Got it. Bewley-Wed Game advances. Oh, because he came back for Bewley-Wed Game too. So it's like, I love when they come back, when they've had enough fun that they trust me for a second round. 99 questions advances. 99 questions lost. Roundtable discussion advances. 99 questions advances is crazy. Let's listen to a video message from Holden.
Hey Bob, a long-time listener here.
Audio.
Holden, big fan of the show. Been listening since the Ben Hansen episode.
Heck
the real
yeah.
ones will know. If I have to say one of my favorite episodes, I'm going to go with the most expensive episodes in 99 question history. We're going to go with the cameo celebrity episode.
Oh my God.
I feel like that has so many good little nuggets, little things I think about when I think of the show, when I think of you, Bob. So many different memories. And the crazy part is, like, it's you're just reacting, right? It's just your charm reacting to things that are already recorded. So it's like, so many other great moments in other episodes are because you're riffing with the people. You have no time to riff here. You just straight asking questions. They're reading their prompts and they're just delivering lots and lots of gold. I think specifically Scott Rogowski, I felt like that's a lost episode in my mind. That's my number one most wanted reasonable request. I think would be Scott Rogowski. I know he's been ducking you, but getting him on the show just because he's so full of energy, come out with your energy, I think it just would mesh really, really well. And his answers to the few questions he did ask were fun, insightful. You know, he's somebody that would definitely get the 99 Questions podcast. I just want to say thanks, Bob. Appreciate the last 6 years. Thanks for the wild ride. Thanks for Arbor blazing it up with us. And here's to another 6 years. Cheers, brother.
Cheers, Holden. A real one, an absolute real one. Oh God, yeah. Again, can't really remember what your question was. But incredibly kind words. Yeah, no clue. We're gonna have that one more.
Let's say one of my, you're just reacting, right? It's just your reasonable request. I think it would be Scott Rogowski. I know, come out with your energy. I think it just would mesh really, really well. And his answers to the few questions he did ask were the 99 Questions podcast. I just want to say thanks, Bob. Appreciate the last 6 years. Thanks for the wild ride. Thanks for Arbor blazing it up with us. And here's to another 6 years. Cheers, brother.
Oh, exactly 6 years more. Yeah. Cameo episode wins. Holden made it so. Holden absolutely made it so. Oh, Jackie UA versus Blake Hester. Blake moves on. Ross Bryant from Dropout versus Arasha Lalani from Smosh. The winner is Arasha Lalani. Jeff Cork versus Nicole Zavala. Nicole, I believe, is either Polish or Ukrainian. Pardon me, I'm not quite sure. My grandmother was from Ukraine, so I consider myself Ukrainian more than anything else. And this was the episode that came out, and I believe was recorded like the day after Russia said they were invading Ukraine. And it was just a very low point kind of day for the old boy. And being able to talk to her and be completely goofy for 2 hours, raised my spirits more than she will ever know, or that, is ever needing to be acknowledged. But I certainly want to acknowledge here. She's someone extra special. She deserves all that has come to her through her incredibly hard work. Jeff Cork is advancing in the tournament. Dan Reichert versus Sam Reich, as the world deserves. Right? This is absolutely what we deserve. So I'm thinking fried chicken wings, right? Gotta get the fried chicken wings. With shrimp fried rice, though? Or just plain? Just plain, because it always is a little soggy if it comes in the rice. I'm going to throw a shrimp egg roll. Sam Reich. Leo Vader. Oh, man. Brutal. Leo Vader versus Jill Grote from Indian Former. Oh. Jill should be the CEO of a company. Like Walmart or something. Like she would turn it around. Leo Vader advances. Kel Kripe versus Janet Varney. Janet Varney. Do we want soup? No, it doesn't feel like this is soup weather, right? Egg for young. That's too much. It's just gonna be too much, and you know it. Without Janet Varney needing to leave early, because she had a hard out at 90 minutes. Not leave early. Leave early is a rude way of putting it. She had a hard out in 90 minutes. So we got to as many as we could in about 60 or 70 minutes, and then we had to lightning round through the last 40 basically, or whatever it was in the last 10 minutes.
Bobby Buel, he's got the view. He's gonna bring the question straight to you. Lightning round. Lightning round.
And I thought it was so fun to have to do it, and I got music commissioned by Storm Guide, I think is his name. Oh gosh, it kills me that I can't remember. I have had a lot of Arbor. If that wasn't clear, several milligrams of Arbor. And their info will, of course, be in the description here. To get for your music. I've had to use it several times. It's so good. Kel Kripe advances. Oh, Jacob Geller or me Jacob Geller or my own episode. Crazy that I've gotten this far. I agree with you. Are we thinking chicken? Are we thinking a kung pao of sorts? Are we thinking like a shredded beef, or are we talking noodles? Like, are we even talking noodles at that point? Even a May Fun. Yeah, I'm getting a Singapore May Fun. You best believe it, pal. Jacob Keller advances. Caldwell Tanner or Kyle Bossman. Caldwell Tanner or Kyle Bossman. Do we hear from all of these? No, I think we... Did we hear... We heard both. Yeah, we heard that. We heard Smithy. Okay. Kyle Bossman advances for pick quilts. Bueller Game 2, which reunited a podcast, by the way. Reunited Game Query for one night only. Bueller Game 2 versus Jeffrey James. Brian's, I think, third appearance. Right? Brian Keese for the Draft Punks crossover. Bueller Game 2. I probably should have included him during the Lost Roundtable. He loves the show Lost too. Jeffrey James advances. RJ City versus Open Mike Eagle. Hold on. We got some really good comments on the RJ City episode I wanted to mention from Sask Scott. Yep. Just when I was going through the which TV show is better than which TV show, and I made them like niche 80s and 90s shows, he responded to that saying, just a list of names I've never heard in these answers. Felt like I was listening to my grandpa talk about their black and white TV. I love that. And then I love the next two, M. Lynch, I believe, saying, some of Bob's best shows have guests I've never heard of before. RJ City was a great guest. And then the complete opposite from Duckman79, I have found so many wonderful things by immediately clicking onto anything RJ City is on, and this is no different. What a great show. One who's a 100% RJ City fan and only found me because of this, and one that was a 100% me fan that found RJ City because of this. So good. I will never turn down the opportunity of talking to a real Ron and Fez fan. An Open Mike Eagle is a 100% long-term Ron and Fez fan. Ron and Fez is a shock jock radio show that has done some horrible things in the past, but has also put on some of the best comedy bits on the radio and on talk radio specifically for the last nigh on 30 years. Ron Bennington is who I named question 25 after, because it was a question that popped up on their old Ron and Fez show. R.I.P. to Fez Marie Watley, who passed away, the co-host of that show, Todd. Kayfabe, brother, kayfabe. Ron Bennington went on to host a radio show with his daughter and honorary son-in-law Pepper Hicks, Chris Stanley, called Bennington Show, or just Bennington on Sirius XM. Recently, I give him the honor of, getting the 25 slot as someone I really respect and look up to. And unfortunately, he said he's been diagnosed with colon cancer, and it appears to be spreading. So there's no word if he is coming back to radio at this point. So I truly wish him the best of luck. He's a hero, and I don't use that word lightly. Again, he's not perfect, but I don't know anyone who is. So I give him all the respect in the world. So 25 will always be Deron Bennington, a true fighter. If any kind of charity or monetary need is there, I will certainly be happy to multiply that voice. RJ City advances. Bewlywed Game 1 versus the Lost Round Table. Lost Round Table advances. That show means a lot to me. The Cameo Spectacular versus Blake Hester. Wow. Let's hear from Chris Logan.
Hey there, Bob. This is Chris Logan calling you from Houston, Texas. And I got a question for you, brother. Hey there, Bob. This is Chris Logan calling you from Houston, Texas. And I got a question for you, brother. You like to ask all of your guests about their favorite Saturday Night Live cast member, but I want to ask you, who's your favorite voice cast member of The Simpsons? Who's the MVP of that show? Who's your number one? You gonna go with someone that voices maybe like one character in the main family, or maybe one of your utility players that voices a lot of the supporting cast? And how do you even compare those two? I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. Number one voice actor in The Simpsons cast. Have a great Arbor Day.
Happy Arbor Day. Oh, I do need to finalize this order. So let me just let me get something for my wife. I don't know if she's eating before she gets home. Sesame chicken. You can't go wrong with the sesame. You can't go wrong. But I don't even want chicken wings. Should I? Yeah. Crispy orange beef. It's gonna be crispy orange beef. Yeah. I'll probably change that to a combination plate. Voice actor on The Simpsons. Who is the one in Godzilla? Who is the one who does like Mo and Officer Chief Wiggum? Officer Wiggum. I think it has BM. And honestly, I think especially as they've aged, which I only catch glimpses of, and the fact they're still putting on the performances that they do. The one I feel like is held up the best is Lisa, which to my knowledge is Yardley Smith, who I believe only voices her. Like everyone else is like a repertory and does a lot. But I believe she only does Lisa, which is kind of funny. Like you're not getting the same bang for your buck, you know what I mean? Yeah, I almost feel bad for some of that cast, but the money they're making, you can't. But yeah, they're putting their voices through just hell there. That ain't great. Blake Hester's an OG of OGs. Never Stop Sniping. The cameo episode advances. Arasha Lalani versus Jeff Cork. Arasha Lalani, I don't know if it's known. I think I mentioned it at some point in that episode. She had like the flu as we were recording. Her and Janet Garcia were the two that were the absolute sickest. I might have mentioned that earlier. I don't remember. And they still went on like absolute champions. So she has earned, a million points of respect for that. Jeff Cork, I think maybe pound for pound is up there with my funniest episode. Just a great guy. Just a great guy. Jeff Cork is advancing. I wish it had never come to this. I wish it had never come to this. I don't know if I want the crispy orange flavored beef. I gotta be honest, guys. I got to be honest. Seafood Delight is always good. Seafood Delight is always good. I'm going with the Four Seasons. Yeah. Yeah. Nope, that's what we're going with. That's absolutely what we're going with. We just gotta drop this in here. Oh, nope, that's the wrong address. And that's gonna be the wrong address. There we go. They could drop this off anywhere at this rate. Okay. And let me just uncheck email me stuff after the fact. Okay. We're almost there, folks. I promise. I have a code, and that's 5-digiter. In case you were curious, my order is successfully placed. All right. Sam Reich. Kel Kripe versus Jacob Geller. Kel Kripe advances. Kyle Bossman versus Jeffrey James. Kyle Bossman advances. RJ City versus the Lost Roundtable.
Oh, no more waiting. Make some choices, Denton.
Please welcome the wickedly talented one and only Adele Dazim.
I had other stuff on my soundboard. I had a couple other things on my soundboard.
Oh, no more waiting. Make some choices, Denton.
I just want to make sure I got to them as well. Because we heard this one and this one and the things you say. Hamza's amazing words. What a kind soul. Holden, yep. Capo, yep. We heard this. You heard the Smallville thing?
Hi, Bob. Matthew Gans here from the official Smallville rewatch podcast. Somebody save me. Could you never knew it?
It's really good. It's really good. And it went for like 20 seconds more than you would expect. That's why I liked it. RJ City's a real one. RJ City's an absolute real one. 99 questions. Lost Roundtable advances, however. Cameo versus Jeff Cork. Jeff Cork and I talking about the Monster Mash. I want them to play that sound clip as I'm buried into the ground.
Well, what if I told you, Jeff Cork, that everyone listening to this show is hearing it right now?
All you would-be monsters, come on in. Boris is going to show you how to monster swim.
And then I legally have to cut it off because I can't really play that much, but you're going to get a little snippet.
Yeah. More than a taste. This is like, you're the baby is the food. You're turning your head away and closing your mouth.
You get a little on the lips. That's all you get.
Nope, you just smear it on the lips. That's I don't miss that. That's
work its way through by osmosis.
It's just so funny. There's two old souls making each other laugh. The Cameo episode advances. Kel Kripe versus Sam Reich. It's crazy how competitive this one is. I want to do a separate show with Kel. I think they are an utter gem. An utter GD gem. Sam Reich advances. The Lost Round Table versus Kyle freaking Ellen DeGeneres looking ass Bossman. No, that's rude. That's rude. It's a callback to the Bewley-Wed game. All Stars. Kyle Bossman advances. This is a crazy one. This is a crazy one. Cameo. The all cameo spectacular. We have a lot of spectaculars on this show, in case you couldn't tell. The all cameo spectacular versus Sam Reich. That's rough. That's rough. Cameo. Jacob from Lost was on there. Summer Sanders from Nickelodeon. That one I'm going to get to in a second. April and Phil Margera. Bam Margera's. I've had Bam Margera announce my wedding, and Bam Margera's parents, Ape and Phil, on as well. Johnny Fairplay from Survivor. The Sandman from ECW. Sawborg Destructo from Guar. Ennis Cantor, the basketball player. Ernie Hudson, the Ghostbuster. The Arbor, man. The Arbor. Oh, wait. I kicked the microphone. David Hayter, Solid Snake. I got to talk about that with him at a convention, and he said, "Oh, nice." He didn't remember. George Wallace, the comedian. Mick Foley, one of my absolute actual heroes that I have in life. Grizz from 30 Rock, who called me Bobby Fuel, which is still top 5 moments of this whole show. Bobby Fuel.
All right, now. Smooth move. All right, Bobby Fuel. Buell. My fault. Bobby Buell.
And then Steven from Great Game Debate. He drew fan art of Bobby Fuel. It's crazy. It's crazy. Maybe the best moment of this entire podcast ever, which is Bootsy Collins from Parliament Funkadelic.
The name is Bootsy, baby. Well, how cool was it in Jurassic Park when the raptors are running through the kitchen? Well, that was a heck of a scene. And, it reminded me of back in Detroit when Parliament Funkadelic was recording in the studio, and we all running towards the studio to get in it. And those raptors remind me of Funkadelic. Those were the days on the one.
And describing P-Funk as velociraptors running through the halls of the studio like velociraptors. Sam Reich advances. Kyle Bossman versus Sam Reich. It was probably like 4-1 if I had to guess. Sam Reich advances. This is crazy. This is crazy. It's the finals. It's the finals. This is it. This is the last matchup of the night. And it's Brennan Lee Mulligan versus Sam Reich. As has the world, I say. Played out in a theater in front of our eyes and today as well. Brennan Lee Mulligan versus Sam Reich. I need to send Sam a message that Beth Wants the D should be performed and recorded for Dropout. Like, people should do that. People should tag him on whatever and tell him to do that. I think that would be really awesome. I think that would fit, you know? I think that would fit. Remember I had the Manscaped code? I think they recently deactivated it. They recently deactivated it. But like way more recently than you would think. It was promo code Buel for 20% off and free shipping, which is that's a good coupon. Both? Most places you're only getting 20 or the free shipping. You're getting both for a quality product like Manscaped. And they sent me free stuff. So how can I complain? Is that payola? Maybe. But here we stand. Did we play?
Hi, Bob. Matthew Gans here from the official Smallville Rewatch podcast. Somebody save me. Could you never knew just save me.
Yeah. Brennan Lee Mulligan versus Sam Reich. Sam Reich giving my single favorite answer to a question of the whole show, the whole shebang. And it was, what's something you've done and will probably never do again? Shall we say with that inflection? And he said, take acid and go on a roller coaster. And then he took the perfect amount of time. He took the perfect amount of time to sit there. And then, before I was able to respond, before I knew what to respond with, he responded with,
turns out exactly what you think it is.
It's my single favorite response to a question ever. It's exactly what you think it is. So good. So good. I got to talk to him right after he purchased Dropout. Right after, I think it was Big Breakfast was the name of the company. That was like their corporate overlords when they were College Humor. And they tried to shut down the whole thing. And Sam had to present his case. I asked him directly about it. And to his credit, he gave probably a 15-minute answer to it. That goes, that was very involved. He had to go with a pitch deck and a corporate strategy and a whatever to prove that he could buy the company. And he did. And he's now the CEO of it. And the success of that place is partially due to Sam. And that's his baby now. You know, maybe it always has been, but now it's not an option anymore. So their success is his success, and I love that. Brendan Lee Mulligan is my masterpiece, I think. That's the most pompous thing in the world to say. But I these are all the comments on the Brendan Lee Mulligan episode. Fell asleep and woke up to the middle of the episode, rewound and listened again. Who knew listening to Brennan nerding out and his occasional melodramatic histrionics were actually soothing? From Fenris Sylvia. This is such a beautiful episode. From Alma. V writes, you're telling me there's 4 hours and 23 minutes of peak Brendan Lee Mulligan background noise out there, but nobody told me? Oh, I am eating good tonight. Augbert just writes, my favorite thing, I think. Marissa came back to re-listen to this a year later. An absolutely fantastic episode. That was 2 years ago that was left. Isaac, right. I would listen to 10 more hours of these stories. From comment 21VDKD and so on. This has gotten me through so much. Mika Taft writes, this podcast episode has been on repeat for me. Haley McLaughlin, 99 questions with Brendan Lee Mulligan isn't enough. We need 99 more. Echo of Greenhaven writes, this is quite possibly my favorite podcast episode ever. Thank you, Hart. David McCune had a couple crazy weeks, and this is getting me through it. Fantastic episode. Brennan is phenomenal as always. Yeehaw writes, this is such a fun episode. Brendan's stories set me on the edge of my seat. It got me through exam revision. Haha. Prince Kirby, genuinely, I think this is my favorite podcast episode of any podcast ever. Got me feeling safe during late night, long commutes, and got me through several long flights. Top tier comfort media for real. You Walk Among Spirits writes, this has got me through some rough moments and overnight shifts. I keep coming back to this episode. Thank you for putting this in the world. Brendan Lee Mulligan advances. Yeah. It's exactly how it needed to go down. Ladies and gentlemen, your champion, the current, reigning, and defending 99 questions champion, Brendan Lee Mulligan. Yeah. Judges, give it up. Yep. Pyro boys, yep, join in. Absolutely. Yeah. 6 years, and we are not stopping, baby. Let's run this ship dry. Kenta Kobabshi. Connor Finnegan said Kenta Kobabshi with the Bueling hammer. It's really good. This has been the 99 Questions Tournament of Champions, I suppose. I thank you so much for joining me. And if there's anything I need to plug or promote, I'll waft them into the ears of our wonderful listeners right now. 99 Questions Pod on Blue Sky, 99 Questions Pod on Instagram. I am really, really, really trying to grow the Instagram. It has a lot of tools that can get a lot of listens and get this show in front of a lot of eyes. So the more follows I get there, it is very, very much appreciated. So if that could be arranged by anyone here, that would be really, really amazing. I hope you all enjoyed this lovely Arbor Day. I had an amazing time. I don't know if you could tell. A really, really Arborful time. This Arbor Day Parbor, I consider this a success. And here's where we waft in with my beautiful royalty-free outro track. And I guess I'll record what did we learn live? What did we learn? We learned that, Brendan Lee Mulligan always wins. That just can't be argued. We learned that I advanced the Lost episode way farther than anyone ever could have expected. We learned that Bootsy Collins, baby, on the ones. He's just truly the greatest. Elise Willems and Riley Anspaugh facing off that late is damn near inspirational. Like, everyone else, step your game up, Shout out Bootsy Collins. Shout out Brennan. Shout out Brennan. Shout out Pete Repeat. Pete Quinnell from earlier. Really, really killing it. Go watch Leo's video too. And that feels like I'm well over time, right? So I'll see you next time. No, I'll see you for our next episode. Till then, thank you, and good night. And then sometimes I'll put something after the outro music, like a little Skeletor at the end. I always think those are fun. I think those are fun. I put one at the end of the Bewlywed game where AJ Moser said he would do a January 6th if they took the Thin Mints away. That might be my favorite Skeletor. Or Paul Robolino saying Young Money. Yeah.
Hey there, it's Bob Buel here. I got my Chinese food. It showed up like 3 minutes after the recording stopped. It was perfect timing. Export everything. Boom, 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 boom. Chinese food got here. Unbelievable. The Four Seasons, great call. Singapore Mayflower, unreal. Put a little duck sauce on that bad boy. You're in business. I'm saving the sesame chicken for my wife because that's what I do. And I'm going to go and enjoy the meal. Happy Arbor Day.